The truth and I'm gonna take that thing off on my tell me if it sounds better or worse. Are you in here? Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? My day started out raining, storming, but now it's sunny, sunny, sunny outside. I like sunny days. I like rainy days too because I think of that as Allah washing me, maybe washing sins off of me, or also like I'm just getting the blessings of Allah. So that's a really powerful thing for me, rain. Now, um, I'm a little not happy when the storms, like tornadoes and hurricanes happen, but that's his will, not mine. So I don't say anything too much about that, but I do pray for it not to affect me and to not affect a lot of people and for it to veer off into places where people don't reside, which I know is a big, quest to ask for, but I ask for it anyway. It can't hurt. Um, I was looking over some more elementary information this morning, and I'm still building more on that case. So I will be coming back out with some more information on that. Someone asked me to have a um, a content one day on guns, and so I'll be doing that as well. I'll give plenty of uh, advance notice on that. Trying to figure out what perspective I'm gonna, because that's a very broad subject. Um, guns is a huge subject. So I might just cover it from different aspects like buying guns versus just talking about guns in America because well everybody has guns here, but that's not the way I want to go about it. So since someone requested for me to do a content on guns, I'll be doing that shortly along with so I'm kind of doing an update here. I will definitely be doing a second segment of Rob Elementary because I found more information on that. Um, Mandy C was on my show yesterday, and I had a great time with Mandy. She brought up some very good topics for us to talk about, and she's very intelligent. It is not surprising to me that she's intelligent. It's surprising to me that how NC speaks about her in a downgraded method, and then you find out when you actually speak to her how intelligent and insightful she is. So, um, I'm probably because of that conversation with Mandy, going to end up doing a segment on plant based medicine because I'm really big into plant based medicine over um, conventional medicine, whether that be pills, liquid meds, or anything. So that's a very big issue for me. Hi, Miss Portland. So I definitely like to do a segment on plant-based medicine. I wasn't aware that people were aware of it as something they were interested in until she said something to me. So if you want to come up, go ahead and hit that link, Miss Portland. Come on up here if you want to. Hi, Mandy. I was just talking about you. Um, and I'm fixing to continue talking about you. If you want to come up, either one of you guys or both of you guys, the link is pinned right above your head. So look up. And just come on up here. Um, so I'm gonna end up doing the link is already on there, Miss Portland. It's at the top, right at the top, right underneath my cash app link is my link to come up here.
It's there.
Shh.
It's
It's right above your first post to me. Where you said, hey, Nasir, it's right above that. Mandy, do you see it? Mm, can you pin it? Yes, okay. Well, it's right there, Miss Portland. It's the second thing under, on there. Um, so yeah, because of my conversation with Mandy C yesterday about plant-based medicines and stuff, I didn't realize people were interested in that. So I'm going to be doing a live one day on plant-based medicine and things you can squirrel. Can we drop that again for her? She's just not seeing it.
Hold on.
Hold on, we're gonna drop it again for you. Um, I'm going to be doing a live on that for plant based medicine. Like I said, sorry I'm repeating myself, but I'm really huge into plants as medicine. Not because of all the stuff that's going on in, the world, but because of the effects that plant-based medicine has had on my life. It's changed my entire life. On I'm about to break the computer. Oh, okay. Sorry, I almost knocked the computer over. Because of how much it has made an impact on me and my life. So I'm definitely going to be doing that, and it's going to really just, I say, blow your mind, because it's a really in-depth subject, and doctors talk about it now, little bit, but that's how the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies make their money. Doctors get a great percentage off of that. Don't think they don't. They always are going to prescribe something first, especially the VA. But um, so we're going to cover that, and I'm going to cover the request about guns, and I'm going to be. I think of tomorrow's the day I'm going to bring up the new stuff I found about Miss Portland. It's right there in between when you said okay and you said right now still not seeing it. It's right in between those things, right in between those two comments at 12:12. And I have no reason that I can think of why you wouldn't be seeing it. Maybe you should go out and come back in. Maybe something's amiss to that. Just go out and come back in. I have no idea. The topic is whatever comes um, to my head. That's the topic. It's pretty much an open chat. Any topic really. I was just doing an update on when I'm gonna, because I found so much on Rob Elementary. So I'm recapping all the things, and I had a request to do a talk one day on guns, and I'm gonna do a thing on guns pretty soon, early next week, and I'm gonna do it from a perspective of gun shows, how they affect versus retail. I'm going to do about the purchasing of guns, so it's going to be a totally different look at guns and how it affects America, and someone and how it is in this country versus the UK. Someone requested me to do that, so I'm going to be doing that. And because of our conversation yesterday, Mandy, I'm going to be doing a segment on plant based medicine. Um, and I touched up that I found out stuff on Rob Elementary, and so that's the things I just wanted to speak up on. And then, anything else that we want to talk about, it doesn't really matter. That's why I was, Miss Portland. Did you have, if you're still here, you had you went to the courthouse today? Yes, I guess that's what you're coming to tell me. Okay, well, just tell me in chat whatever it is that you want to tell me, because I don't know why it's not showing up. So, another thing that strike me when I went to look for, and Mandy, did you get that stuff I had sent to you about the guy and all the plant-based stuff and how he does it, where he goes to the stores? That guy lost like 200 and something pounds. He's amazing. He is very amazing. Let me take a drink here. Sorry. That's an amazing guy. Yeah, down to what I drink. Everything I drink is a purpose. Like I said when I first got on here, everything's a purpose. God has a purpose. And, it's not storming now, so it's sunny. And I drink all day long. I probably drink, and I'm not joking, I'm not going to make up a number. I probably drink 2 gallons of water in a day. It's not more, right, Squirrel?
No, no, that's about right.
That's about right. I have so many gallons piled up on my shelf, and I keep the gallon jugs when I finish, so I can see my progress. So now pretty soon I'm going to need a shed, um, because they're getting so much. But all the water that I drink is distilled water. You can get it at a store, um, and it's not where normal water is because it comes in gallons. You would probably have to ask someone where the distilled water is, and that's pure water. But I don't know why, Miss Portland, because the link is right there. Yeah, I see it. Mandy said she saw it, can see it. So I really don't know why you cannot see it. I don't know why, because Mandy can and I can. I have no idea. I really don't know. Oh, hmm. That's all they got to do is come over here. Wow. Okay. Well, you just keep trying then. We'll let them just keep trying because, well, you keep eating too while we're talking about this. Um, the distilled water is the purest water other than having that machine. And I'm not buying that machine. No way. Um, just because, well, for cost effectiveness for me, the distilled water. Oh, there she is. There she is. She found her way here. You ready? Here you go. I'm gonna put you up here for a second.
Hey,
There
I
you.
found out what it was is I accidentally went in to check my block list to see if maybe that was the issue, and it was. So,
You had me blocked, didn't you?
yeah, I did, but I took care of it. I fixed it.
I already knew that I was blocked. I just didn't know it blocked you from coming up here.
Yep, it did. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mandy. You better not talk with food in your mouth. That's so uncouth. I'm joking. Ha
Manny.
ha. It's so funny because you can tell she's a perfectionist.
Right.
She
Well,
has
for
so much
me, I'm
etiquette.
kind of that way too. I think it's rude to eat or drink unless you have your camera turned off because nobody wants to hear you munching and so forth. I just think it's just rude.
It's not just that, it affects your digestive.
Yeah, I
I mean, we didn't grow up eating on camera. We're not movie stars.
right,
Well, Mandy might be a movie star one day. We don't know that. I know that I'm not good looking enough to be a movie star.
right.
So,
Okay, here is the scoop and the update is um I just got back from my county courthouse. I had to go file 2 more orders. But I got out there too late to be put on the docket for today. So I won't be able to see the judge now till Monday.
okay. And then what do they do? I don't understand how it works about what you're
Okay, you
trying
have
to
to go
do.
and fill out all the paperwork, and then you get asked to be put on the docket. Then you go up in front of the judge, and the judge has to decide whether or not he will grant that petition or not.
Okay, and then if he does, what happens then?
Well, both parties get served, and then I have to wait for a response. And depending on the time length, it can take up to like 2 weeks. And if they don't respond, then the petition is automatically granted in my favor.
And if it's granted in your favor, then does that
They have
what
to
is that?
completely back away,
Yeah,
and they cannot follow me on YouTube. They cannot go
right.
onto my channel. They cannot take any more of my videos,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
they
I see what
cannot.
you're saying. They become a blocked.
Right, right.
Yeah, I stopped.
And then
I
they are not
stopped.
to. Then they are not allowed to verbally communicate about me publicly. They cannot bring me up,
Yes,
and I am to
that's
not
in
bring them
danger.
up,
Are
and
you?
I am not
Yeah,
to bring
how's
them
that
down.
going to work out? How are you going to like that? Not being able to bring them up?
Very easy. I just won't.
Yeah, it's really not that hard, believe it or not. Um,
Well, you try being threatened as much as
yeah,
I.
yeah. I was just about to say that it's easy for me because they're not. Well, see now when I say this, they're going to attack me, right? Because
Well,
of that.
usually the I see it is I'm just so tired of the verbal harassment and the constant threats that are coming at me and the nasty things that have been said. And then I was threatened the other day saying that if I go ahead with the action I've taken, then they will not stop until I am completely ruined. One of the main parties the other day made a comment that she will not be satisfied until I'm completely ruined or in prison or deceased.
My goodness. What a
Yep.
terrible thing to say.
Yeah. And then the other party said that if I go ahead with the action I'm taking, then she's going to come all the way out here to my state and bring her shotgun with her and all her minions. And I took that as a serious threat.
I would take that uh a serious threat. I mean, if you tell me, if I hear you say you're going to bring a shotgun and all your friends, and even if you're just talking smack, you're going to have my attention in a
Mm-hmm.
serious way just because you said it. Uh,
Right.
because some people when they say it they just go like, oh, my friends know, and people who know me know I'm not going to do that. I was just saying that. Well, in this
Right.
day and age you shouldn't just say that.
Right. And that's why I took it seriously, and that's why I sought the legal action that I did because it's going to be the only way to get these people's attention to back off and leave me alone and let me have my channel and let me do what I feel like I want to do freely.
I think they use you a lot. uh I'm just going to say it like I see it, okay?
Okay.
I think they use you a lot. They want you to get upset. They want you to get mad. And they
Right.
say things to make you mad and upset.
Right. They
And
enjoy getting me all riled up and ticked off, and
yes,
they try to push me to the point where I lose my cool. Well, you
yes.
know what? I'm done playing that game.
Yeah, they do that. I feel like they do it on purpose because when they make you upset, you're at the point where you're past control for yourself, and for
Exactly.
and for them, it's just a shit show that they like to do, and it
Right.
makes them laugh.
Right.
And
Taking the jollies off of it.
yes, yes, very much so. And I mean, it's not okay. not at all.
And after the
Um,
fact, I was in the hospital a week ago for a severe panic anxiety attack because of all this crap. You know, they just kept on and kept on, and I have just been to the point where it's not just so much the mental part as it is now the physical, and it's starting to actually physically making me sick.
yeah, that'll happen to you. You
So
know, there's only so much a person can take.
right, and
Only
that's
so
why
much.
I decided to take it to a higher level, and that's why I decided to take a legal stance because I felt like that was my only last option.
Yeah, if you well, obviously because you got offline and everything, and
Yeah,
that didn't stop. I mean, you got off of YouTube. You weren't here at all. From that
exactly,
from the
exactly.
day that that happened, I didn't see you. You destroyed all your stuff, and did that stop them? No, it
Nope.
didn't. They were still going. So
Yep.
I would have took the same, tactic that you did. Go to the law, because if you get off and you're not here, and someone's talking about you like that, then why? You know what I mean? Other than they're bullying you and
Mhm.
using
That's
you
why
as
I
their
can't even have
content.
anything up on my channel because they go after all my videos. They talk smack about any photos or pictures I put up. I put up pictures of some handguns the other day. They called another welfare check on me and told the officers that I was acting in a dangerous manner. And it's like, I was only doing that to protect myself.
Well, I mean, they
And
look
they
at
got
all the
the notice and
weapons.
had escape over it.
I was surprised when I heard they took that stance, because okay, I did not call, but I'm saying, if I was concerned that, one, if those were real and I could tell, and I was
Mhm.
concerned you were too far, then I'm going to admit that I would say, hey, if I couldn't get in touch with you and talk to you myself,
Right.
then I would, for your betterment.
Right.
But
But again, I can't put anything on my channel without somebody along the line of bitching, griping, complaining about whatever it is that I post. So,
right.
you know,
And I was looking at them and I was like, but they had already started the whole thing when I found out about it.
and I
And
even
so,
posted the picture of your beautiful flowers that you sent to me, and I got creamed for that. I got riled up over it because somebody made a verbal comment on another community saying, why does anybody care about that nasty little so and so? Why is everybody being so good to her? And, it's like, God, I can't even post a nice
oh,
picture of the gift that I received
that's pathetic. I
without
mean,
getting
I've
phone
learned
down.
I've learned for 2 days now that I'm not aware that people talk about me that much. I mean, I wasn't aware that people talk about me at all, because
Right,
because they talk about religion, and that's not their
right. That's not their cup of tea.
yeah, they run from it because they're afraid they're going to burn up from it, I think.
You're right,
They
Mandy. It is a form of harassment.
they use the high Gretchen. So they use the flowers as a form of harassment on you, and then
Yep.
said, why would somebody do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a human being.
I can't even share a nice photo, and I actually had a comment above it saying, look at the beautiful gift I received from Nasir and Squirrel Girl. I said, this is the first gift that really somebody has been that kind and shown me any kind of affection or care about me. Now, I've received other gifts from other people that I've become acquainted with on YouTube, but I can't post anything by the gifts that they gave me without being hassled about it.
Wow. Gretchen asked who's fighting who these days. Pretty much the whole YouTube. That's
So,
it. That hasn't changed.
like I said, I can't put anything on my channel. I can't post anything to my community page. I can't put any videos up without somebody making a big beef about it. It's like, why can't these people learn to just leave me alone?
I think the same thing. I wonder why they can't. And Mandy says, Mandy's got jokes every day. Look at her crying, laughing at herself. She
I
cracks
know.
me up. And you know, Mandy, when I put you up there and pull you down real quick, I'm putting you up there to show your comment, and I won't leave it up there real quick because I don't want somebody not mentioning no names, who, but I don't want
I
someone
mean,
getting a clip of it. You know, they gonna have to be real quick. Um, I don't I don't know why people do that to you. And I'm sorry that they
because
do
it's a
that to
way
you.
to make themselves feel better. To try to ruin somebody like me is all it is. They just want to see me
Yeah,
completely off YouTube. But I'll tell you right now, not gonna happen.
but it's a different what happened there? I don't like her far away. um it's a difference though. I mean, we know who we're talking about. We don't have to say her
Yeah.
name. Um but her gang of people, and that's what they are. They act like a gang. They act
Well,
like
it's
a mafia.
here's another thing I'm seeing is they're trying to keep me from becoming monetized. That's what all this is over. I was so close here a couple weeks ago to being monetized, and I just kept being threatened and hassled, and you know. So I think that's what it is. It's all about the money. They don't want to see me become monetized.
I thought you had become monetized.
No, I was this close.
Okay, because I thought you were when you first started. I thought you were monetized, and then you
No, no.
started your store,
Right,
and
right.
and then that's when they really started acting.
Yep. After I
Uh,
started my store, like I said, I was this close to being monetized on my channel, but after all the hassle I've had and the harassment and the threats, I took everything down off my channel.
you see Mandy right here. You see her.
Exactly, Mandy. I agree. I agree with
I bet she has more advantages than she wants us to know that she uses. She is
right.
so funny.
I know she is.
I
How
don't
about
know.
bringing her up? Can we bring her up so I can
I
say
don't.
hi?
I don't know if she wants to come up. The link is right there.
Come on, Mandy. Come
She
say
can come
hi.
over here. She can come up here. I told her she can come up on my channel anytime.
Right. Well, I
I don't.
can't be on long because I need to start packing. My husband and I are leaving bright and
That's
early in the
right.
morning. Yeah,
Y'all are
we
going on a
are.
train.
Yep,
Have,
we're going
have you
down to
ever?
see our son because he graduates from high school tomorrow night.
Have you ever been on the train?
Oh yeah, yeah, many times.
Did you see what she wrote?
Too shy.
Nope, not seeing
She
anything.
says she too shy to shy, hush hush, eye to eye. She's too shy.
Oh, come on, Mandy. You shy? Come on, that's not you.
She's too shy to shy, hush hush, eye to eye. That was a song way
Mandy,
back when. She's
you
gonna.
are so publicly spoken. I hear you every day on other panels,
I
so
don't
don't
know
give me
how.
that
I
crap.
don't.
You are not shy.
I don't know how she keeps up that perfect etiquette
I know.
through all of those people when she talks to them. She just
Right.
keeps it up. They try to
I
break
know.
her etiquette, and they can't do it. She's just like, and then they say, "Oh, she's raising her voice." Well, she
See, that's
speaks
the
a
thing too.
little.
Is I have the same issue. I'm loud at times myself, but again, people push me and push me to the point where they think that they can break me. Well, again, that's why I had to take the solid legal stance that I made.
Well, I don't speak loud either. You know what I mean?
Well,
I,
I
I'm
do
the,
it. I
I'm
have
the
a loud
same
voice.
way. I have to be mindful to lower my voice. I do the same thing, Mandy. And the thing of it is I'll raise my voice if I have to talk over somebody, but that doesn't mean I'm yelling. And she has the same thing. I noticed she'll talk louder when she tries to talk over somebody, and then they're like, "Oh, she's yelling." She's no, she's not.
Right.
You know
Well,
what a woman
again,
sounds like when she's
if
yelling. There ain't no
people out
mistaking
there
it.
are going to call me a liar now, I actually took pictures today from in front of my courthouse where I was at. So if they think that I'm bluffing, we'll see
No,
what happens next week.
I hope whenever you go on your trip, you just have fun and take
I will.
lots of pictures
Oh, I
and
will.
don't even worry about YouTube.
I'm not. I am staying completely away from YouTube this whole weekend. Once I leave out of my front door in the morning,
Say
you
bye
probably won't
bye,
see me back
YouTube.
till at least Tuesday because I have to be back by Sunday night because I have to be back at the courthouse early Monday morning to go up in front of the judge.
Well, then that's a relaxation that you need
Yeah.
for before you come back. Mandy C says everyone says I'm loud on here. Oh
Mandy,
yeah,
you're not loud. My goodness, you're
no,
so
no
bluffing.
way. And then she says it's the opposite offline. They say I'm soft spoken. Um,
Andy, you are very soft spoken,
you're
sweet.
soft spoken. Yeah, let's end that debate.
Yeah. Mandy, you're beautiful, okay?
Gretchen says, "How do you go legal on YouTube?" I really don't know, but other people
Okay.
do.
The way that I did it is I went to what was called the Family Justice Center, and they have all the paperwork to file for like a restraining order, a no contact order, a protective order, and you just fill it out. You submit it to your county courthouse. You go up in front of the judge. You let the judge know what your situation is, and especially with the fact that I've had so many threats, I have saved every video, every documentation that has come into me with who says what to who about me, and I submitted that along with all the reports that I filed. You have to save every bit of your paperwork and all your videos that are about you. Yeah,
That is a lot.
yeah, it is.
It's
And
like
I've got about 6 months worth because this has been going on here on YouTube with the same people since last November.
she says, so it's against someone that can make contact with you. They live close by.
They don't have to live close by. They can
This
live
is
clear across the country.
this is true right here. They're YouTube gangsters.
Yep. So let's see. November, let's see.
Come on,
November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So about 8 months this has been going on.
come on up.
Yeah, come on up, Mandy.
You're right. They think they're the mob. No, they think they gangsters. They do. They think they're
Well,
thugs.
the
I mean,
one individual at least, she thinks that she is the head honcho of YouTube, and she's not.
she this person, this content creator, okay, yeah. Anyway, she thinks she's Don Gotti, John Gotti.
Mhm.
You're not.
Well,
You're not an
she's just
Italian
mad at me
mob.
because Nasir. She's just mad at me because I'm not gonna allow her to control me. And same with her minions. That's what they're looking for. They're looking to take complete control of everybody that they can. And since I won't let them or give them that opportunity, that's why they are out in full force against me.
Gretchen says, how can they get restrained if they live across country? Well, I don't
You
know.
have to file the report against them.
And you have
You
to
have to file the
contact their
legal.
local. Yeah, you have to contact their local people also, right?
No. Actually, I did. I tried contacting her local police authorities, and due to the issue at hand, they continue to coddle her and they won't do anything about it. So when I contacted them, they said that I need to get in contact with my local county and take it to a legal level because it's going to be the only way to get that person's attention.
Are you talking about coffee? Are you getting an international coffee, Mandy, before you come up here? Laws are different. I'm going to give her a hard time, though, because she's so funny to me. And she tries to act like she's not.
But again, it doesn't matter if they're in your same vicinity or not. Like I said, with the one party that lives clear across the country, I had to go to my legal justice center and fill out the documentation. I had to take it back to my local county courthouse. I had to file those orders, and then you get to be put on the docket. And then you go up in front of that judge, and this is in my area. It's done through the civil court.
Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl came out from behind the 50-yard line and says she has to prove this. It's okay. That's between her and the court on Monday. Did you say you had to be there Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday. Okay. I'm sure she has plenty of proof, or they wouldn't have even gave her a docket thing to go and talk about it. Her lawyer or whoever she's got, Miss Portland's going through.
I went through what was called a justice advocate.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, Cheryl says she has to prove it. And I'm saying I'm not getting into you
Right.
proving it here.
I'm not asking you to get involved.
No,
But
no,
I have
not you.
work.
No, I'm saying she's saying she has to prove it. And I'm telling you, I want you to keep quiet about what you have and don't have and give
Right.
it only to the people on Monday. You don't have to prove it here.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not saying anything more.
But you see where I'm saying? I'm saying you're right. You have the right to do this. I would do it if I would do worse if I was in your position. And
Gretchen,
everything that happened to you, that happened to me, I would be way more lawsuiting on top of that person.
well, Gretchen, I was threatened. I was physically threatened.
Yeah, they threatened to go harm her.
Yep.
Cheryl, do you want to come up here and talk, or you just want to play around?
Cheryl,
You know what, Miss Portland, I have this figured out. Because see the way she's talking, she's either an NC person or whatever. So this is why I don't have back doors, right? I don't have a place for them to hide in the back. I don't encourage it, but
Right.
but I encourage this, Cheryl. If you have something to say, click the link to come up here. Be a grown woman and say it up here where she can hear it. Don't type it.
Come Monday, we'll see who has the last laugh.
And Gretchen, you're kind of working along that line too. You're LOLing, wow, in a text. I don't know if you're one of NC's little
Minions?
playmates or whatever, but if you have a problem with Miss Portland, click the link and come up here. See, I'm not like NC, not like her at all. I don't say, I'm not going to make comments to you that are nasty ones and let you sit down there and run, any of that stuff.
I'm done playing this game with these people, Nasir. I'm done playing this game with these people. And like I said, come next week, we'll see who has the last laugh.
it's not about laughing. It's about,
Well,
one of these women or Cheryl or Gretchen are either on that side of the fence or they're not, right? And if they have something to say, well, I understand Gretchen, and there's no problem with being curious. But what Cheryl is in here saying is trying to downgrade Miss Portland's
mhm,
uh, case and say, oh, you can't prove any of this. Well, you don't know what she can prove because you don't know her evidence that she has
mhm.
physically in her hand. And she doesn't have to show it to you. She doesn't have to prove it to you, Cheryl. She has to prove it to someone on Monday, and it's not you.
Nope.
So keep your
And I
opinion
have
to
all my
yourself.
evidence ready to go. I have
And
it
that,
ready to go,
oh,
and
hold
I will
on.
be showing the judge on Monday.
See, you snuck up on me.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi. Can you guys
You,
hear me?
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, I was just making sure my audio was good.
Yes,
I
you
was
snuck
eating
up on
before,
me.
so
I heard her say she was coming in. Then she said she was in a weird mood, and then these Gretchen and uh Cheryl Lutz got my attention during all this. Next thing you know, I look down there. Here she comes. She's so
no,
sneaky.
because I wanted to come up and stuff. Yeah, that's the people where I was watching the numbers jump and stuff. It had to do with what you were being just what was being discussed, and that's
Yeah,
why. That's why. That's all. Just
exactly.
ignore.
You know, you can always come up here. You and Miss Portland come up here anytime you want to. I don't play these games like the other people do. That's exactly why I have no background for people to go into and hide. You know,
Right.
I want, if somebody says something bad about you, Mandy, or stuff like they're saying to Miss Portland, bring your ass up here.
Yep.
Oh, I don't care for myself.
I did just
So,
say the
anyways,
same
how was your
thing.
day? I heard that it's going well, Miss Portland.
Yeah, it is. I just got
She's
back from
going
the
on a big
courthouse,
trip.
and I filed the last two of the three orders that I had filed. And unfortunately, what happened is I got out there too late to be put on the docket to see the judge today. And I was told to be out there by a particular time, which I was. But again, by the time that I arrived and got what I needed done, the docket for the day was full, and they told me to come back on Monday.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah,
I've never heard of anything like this, but it's different for your situation.
right.
What amazed me is how many criminals y'all got over there in Oregon.
Huh.
The
We've got a
docket was
lot.
full.
Yeah. Well, again, this is basically done under civil court, not criminal.
Oh, well, that
I've
just
never heard of anything like that on YouTube.
I
Well,
wouldn't doubt it. With the way the world is currently, I wouldn't doubt it. It's so bizarre.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how it is. It's just bizarre.
Right.
How
Mm.
everything's tipped on its head. How
Well,
things.
again, with the physical threats that were made towards me, I had no other choice but to go legal. I have been threatened several times within the last month. One party made a public comment the other day, and she said that she won't be satisfied until she sees me completely ruined, sees my marriage ruined, sees me in prison, or sees me deceased.
What was
Mm,
the name?
I'm not gonna say.
Okay, that's fine. I was wondering.
And then the other person threatened to come all the way out here to Oregon and bring their shotgun with them.
mm-mm. That's unnecessary. Even though that probably was BS. That's unnecessary. I
Right.
mean, this is the thing that gets to me. The Robb Elementary thing just happened, right? We're to the point now where people are forgetting about it, right?
Well,
Where
they're
things.
forgetting about a lot of stuff that can catch up to them. They get careless
Yes,
online.
yes,
But that's
and
not my fucking problem.
yeah. Oh.
But I don't
Okay.
mean towards Miss Portland. I just mean like
No,
that whatever.
no, I know what you meant. I know what you
Yeah.
meant. You just
Those are
Hold on a
serious
second.
make me laugh. um, but what I was saying, Miss Portland, is that
Mhm.
with people going through all these things like the shootings and stuff, it's the adults who should be acting like adults. And how are
Right.
these kids supposed to know? They don't think about their kids in their own house when they're saying these things online and telling them, shooing them off, go play, whatever. And then
Mhm.
women have a habit of talking out loud when they type, you know, and getting
Right.
all animated when they're pissed too. They talk out loud, they get very
Right.
animated. So, you
But
know,
here's the thing that these people don't realize is I'm not just medically disabled. I have a mental health condition as well, and I have most of my life. And again, people may not realize it, but people like myself and several others that I know on YouTube fall under what's called a protected class. And when I was physically threatened with bodily harm, that frightened me.
well, of course. It
And
should.
that's why I
Even
decided.
even if you weren't in the protected class, that is a threat to your life.
And that's why I got in contact with my local legal aid office out here. They talked me through what I needed to do and who I needed to talk to and basically what the chain of command was. They are the ones that told me to go to my justice center and talk to what's called a disability court advocate. And
Mm-hmm.
I made an appointment. I went out there yesterday and they have the same forms as the county courthouse. So she sat down with me and we physically filled out the paperwork together. And she was able to file 2 of the 3 protective orders that I wanted filed.
Right. The biggest problem, people might say to you, I don't know if someone has said this, they're like, oh, she's uh taking up the court's time and doing this. Maybe one day they'll be saying that if they haven't already. But let me
Mhm.
tell you this, that's the people that encourage people not to get protective orders when somebody makes little threats. Well, not little threats. That's what they consider a little threat. And then the next thing you know, somebody gets hurt and people knew about it. And when someone says, why didn't they go to the cops and get protection or get some kind of help, some kind of restraining order or something? Well, I'll tell you
Well,
why.
I
Because
called the authorities. I called my local authorities. I even know where the one party lives because I was neighbors to this one person for over 14 years. So I called her local police authorities the other day and they told me they couldn't do anything because I have to do what I needed to do through my own local county courthouse. So
well,
it's like,
that's
okay,
what you
well,
should do. And Gretchen
exactly.
says,
But again, the doggone police authorities, they would not do anything. Like, you can't even go knock on this person's door and tell them, look, to just back off and leave me alone. But yet, they can
that's
call the
the old
cops
way.
on me every single week and make welfare checks on me.
That's where the cops used to
Oh
do
my
their
God.
job a long time ago. Gretchen says something like this, if you know who they are, I think they could do something scary. The sad fact is, we all know who we're talking about, Gretchen.
Mm-hmm.
Content creator, and for years she has been threatened. And it's not just a threat because she shows her weapons online. She
Mm-hmm.
makes them like they're toys. Here, I have a throwing hatchet.
And then the last threat that was made
But
to
you
me
don't
last
go
week,
but you
which
don't
I
go to the sport and throw them. I mean,
did.
it's a
Well, the
weapon.
last threat that was made to me this year last week, and I actually have it recorded. That person actually stated that if I do decide to go legal, that I would be very, very sorry.
See, that's a threat in my book.
Yep.
In my book, I take that as go legal because that means that they know that there's potential there.
Yep.
Yep. So that's why I took the stance that I had to take, and that's why I decided to go legal.
Exactly. There's no shame in what you did. I don't think anyone should be making fun of it. I don't think someone should say you're wasting your time. I don't think someone should be saying anything bad about what you're doing. It's your right. I fought for you to
Yep,
have that right. I fought
exactly. Yes,
I
you did.
fought in a lot of damn wars for people not to do this to you. I did not fight in every war since Vietnam, and we have had a lot of wars. Okay, I've been to Desert Storm, I've been to Afghanistan, I've been Israeli, I've been to Germany,
Israeli. Yep.
I've been to every conflict America has been in after Vietnam. And there's a lot of them. There's like 13 things we've been involved in, and most people don't know that. So I put my life on the line so that you, Miss Portland, have protection. That was your right.
Right.
You have these rights to do this.
Exactly.
I
And
didn't go
then,
I didn't go over there for just to protect, Natasha's freedoms. And yeah, I said her damn name. I don't care. I get riled up when we start talking about, vet stuff. But I didn't go over there to protect certain people at home, the healthy people.
right.
I went
Well,
over there
again,
to protect and serve all Americans.
right. And again, I contacted a family member of mine this year. I have an uncle in California who happens to now be a retired Superior Court judge out of the county of LA. And he actually did the preliminary arraignment on O.J. Simpson when his ex wife was found slaughtered. So
Mm,
I called him the other day for his legal advice because I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he told me the same thing. He says, you need to stand strong and stand proud. And if you feel like you need to take legal action, then he supports me all the way. He says, at least you know what your rights are of what you want to do. And he basically told me how proud he was that I was standing my ground and not to let anybody take that away from me.
that
I
is
thought that that
correct.
was Kim Kardashian's father, wasn't it?
Who?
The attorney.
Yeah, it is Kim. It is the Kardashian daddy,
He's
but
dead.
she's talking about somebody else.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
talking about O.J. Simpson. He's the ex football player from many, many years back, and he was married to his ex wife, Nicole.
Yeah, she knows who you're talking about, but
yeah.
who did you just refer to that you were talking to?
My uncle, who is a retired Superior Court judge out of LA County.
Oh, okay. Gretchen
Oh,
And he
says,
was the judge, he was the main judge that did the preliminary arraignment on
oh,
OJ before it went public.
okay, so she's talking about judges that we don't
yeah, I
even know about,
understand now.
man. Okay, Gretchen says they aren't too smart putting threats like that online. Well, we know they're not smart, Gretchen. They do it all day long. I mean,
Hmm.
they don't. This person doesn't even get out the chair to go eat. They bring her food to her in the chair so she can continue. Um, that's how just
But
I wish
again,
I had it like that.
Mindy. Go ahead.
oh I got a chicken wing, man. Do you want me to go sit in that recliner and bring
No,
it to you?
hell no. I'm not eating chicken.
Okay. I was testing you.
But again, the threat that was finally made last week, like I said, somebody actually did threaten me again publicly and said that if I decide to do my option of going legal, that I'll be very sorry.
And
Yeah, I know.
that's another one right there. You gonna be sorry. Sorry for what? What you saying? Oh, okay.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you said. So, yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but before I had my turn of events in my life, right? I'm gonna just say it how it was, and y'all can tell sometimes in me it just don't it's hard to stay down inside me. But I'm from New Orleans. I was raised in the Ninth Ward. After being an orphan, I don't have a good story to tell. I'm a vet, and that's a good story to tell. A long term vet too. So I've been to many wars or whatever. But sometimes that part is before I became Muslim. So Muslim is soft, quiet, and doesn't cuss that much. And I try really hard to stay like that. But some things just rile me up and makes me go back to being the veteran. I will kick your uh
And here is a
that
big stack of my evidence that I'll be taking with me to the court on Monday.
but don't show it online. Turn it away. Yeah.
But again, this is the entire stack.
Yeah, that could dock somebody's information.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I
So
said
again,
turn it away.
this is all the stack of all my evidence that I have saved. So I will be taking this stack of paperwork on Monday with me when I go to see the judge.
Well, just don't show anybody else that. If you do, turn the first page around so it looks like
Right.
the back of the page, because you know how somebody will clip a picture of that
Oh, yeah.
zoom it up to see what she can see to show it to everybody. So you have to protect yourself in that sense. That don't you can show the stack without nobody seeing nothing.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying for yourself, to protect yourself.
Again, this is all the documentation and evidence that I have saved. And I will be taking all that on Monday to the court.
Wow. I mean, just don't let anybody deter you from doing what you need to do for yourself.
Right.
I mean, I'm getting tired of hearing like the whole song of there's nothing you can do. There's no point in you going to your police or lawyers and trying to do this because it's YouTube and there's nothing you can do. I'm just sick of hearing that because
There
there
was
is.
one woman. There was one woman on another panel that I was on, and she used to be around here a lot, but not anymore. Anyway, she was going on about you have to do this, like go to your local priest or the police department, and you gotta say this, and that, and you have to do it the right way. Mind you, this used to be a self-proclaimed true crime channel, so I found that absolutely hilarious.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, no, honey, that's not how you do it. But like the local police department, as to what a lot of people call it in other areas, is not going to give you legal advice. They are not going to tell you how to go about it. That is your own, like, you have to find that out yourself.
Yep.
Unless you know somebody, like, unless you are friendly with an officer or whatever, you just catch somebody on the right day.
Like I said, that's why I got in contact with my local legal aid. I talked to somebody there last week. And again, I told them my situation and I said, who do I talk to, or who can I talk to about this? What is the chain of command? What is the chain of process that I need to follow and able to make this happen? And that's why they gave me the information I needed. And they said, okay, you need to do A, B, C, and D.
Well,
And
in all honesty, in America, you have to do almost everything yourself to
Yep.
get it to a point where somebody will do something. I mean,
Yep.
it's easy to bully somebody. It's easy to convince people, no, you can't do nothing about it. It's going to be really hard. And well, most are too lazy
Right.
to do the route, so they give up on it and they convince people it's too hard to get anything done so that they will give up.
I guess it just depends on the serious nature of the situation.
It
If
depends
it's
on the
really,
person.
yeah. And again, with me, it was a dire enough situation to where I'm not going to be pushed around anymore. And that's why I decided to stand my ground and do what I needed to do.
You'd think a lot of things, wouldn't you, Gretchen? I think a lot of things. I think if you have recordings of this person threatening you, that would be more than writing. If you had an actual thing, recorded with their voice saying, somebody ought to blink, blink, blink you in the face and blink, 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 that's an actual threat in voice. And to me,
Yep.
that is all the thing you need is one thing, but we'll see.
I
Yep.
think you are right, Miss Portland, that it has to do with you are about to be monetized, or they're trying to prevent you to become
Absolutely.
monetized, so they've
Yep.
targeted you. I
Yep.
don't know. You made a very good point with that.
I believe
So,
that
Either way,
because I believe that too, Mandy, because they did not believe she was as popular and could get subs like she did, and people would be interested in her until she did it. They did
yep.
not expect people to come out the woodwork like they did.
Exactly. They ruined. I was actually enjoying doing my coloring online, my crocheting, and some of my other craft projects, but every time I tried to do anything positive, it was taken away from me. And that's why I just don't do anything on my channel anymore. I don't do any videos. I don't go live. I don't share anything. Yes,
Yeah,
Gretchen, I do. I do
um,
have video recordings of the threats. Yes.
it is scary. I mean, and some people come on YouTube to hide because not hide is the word. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Some people are very introverted people, and introverts get a badge of courage online because no one can see them. But then you have these other people, like this certain content creator, who is a mafia king. She is a bully. She well, she ain't no
that's
queen.
funny.
She bullies people. She holds info over their head to get people to
Yep.
comply, and she thinks it's sneaky. It's not. Her whole plan is out there. A B C D E F U.
Yep. Well, like I said, I finally got to the point where I was just finally fed up with being pushed around. And that's why, like I said, I told everybody that if it came right down to it, if I had to make that choice of going to a legal stance, then, that's my God given right. And that's what I had to choose to do. Because,
Everybody has that
it's
right.
the only way for
Everybody
me
has that right.
to.
Everybody has that right. And I tell people all the time right back to the same sentence when people say, I was thinking about doing this with the law to protect myself. Yes, do it. And they say, damn, that was quick. Why do you say that? Because I fought for it.
Yep.
I I fought
Wait,
for
what
it.
happened?
If someone says, I'm thinking about going to the court system and get me a lawyer or talk to them and see, this is an example. If they say something like that to me, I say, yeah, go do it. And they say, that was quick. Why'd you say that? Because I fought for that right for you to do it. So
Yep.
I want you to take your right and go do it. I took
Right.
bullets in my body for you to have those rights. Not talk about those rights. Go get them. They're
Yep.
already paid
Well,
for.
the
All
other
right,
thing that
and
bothers me. Oh,
also, you fought for their right to spew their stupidity online on a daily basis, to be able to
Unfortunately,
have that freedom of speech.
yes.
Because in a lot of other
Unfortunately,
countries, it's a different story.
you're right. If they were in Iraq talking like that, she
Oh
wouldn't
no, a
be
lot of them
talking.
actually have to be very about their identity and stuff, because that culture is like if you do something, like they're very nosy, and if you do something and they will try to find out your information, but they will like what's the word? ostracize you and stuff and make it very public, and their media, like they'll arrest you over the most great, like if you say something very controversial, and they are strict, and they even said it like in their media before, if you behave like this and you adapt any ways of the West, anything like that, they said we will make your names public and let everybody know, as a form of like embarrassment and humiliation, but
Yeah,
also you go to get jailed.
Exactly.
exactly.
That's the
Crazy.
I
same as I'm
mean,
being treated now by these people.
well, I'm just saying you're right, Mandy. People say, they talk about, how horrible it is over in the Middle East and countries over there as well. But they also, on a good note, they wouldn't allow someone to degrade another human being like this.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation.
They might
But like they
say
can't even
some
speak bad.
things.
They can't say anything in opposing the religion that's
Well,
that's going
I
against the regime.
I know that, but I'm saying,
I know you're saying on a general
um,
basis. I'm just making a point.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm
But
just
the problem
saying,
I have is this particular person, as all of you are well known, that this person is very nosy. She digs into everybody's private life outside of YouTube, and she
the
tries to make
kids.
everybody else's private life her business.
And she says it's her business, but children are not your business. I
She's
mean,
even made comments about my child that I do not appreciate.
I don't. I tried to find a line once in what she would not talk about, and there isn't one.
Nope.
She even said the sentence one day in her life: people think I'm lying, and it pisses me off because I'm not lying. And I'm like,
I've been accused of the same
and
thing
I
this
was
year.
like, what?
I have been accused of being a lie myself and a troublemaker, a mental case. I've actually been told to, through another threat that they made here a couple weeks ago, they keep telling everybody, oh, Mrs. P needs a 5150. Well,
Mm.
what business is that of yours?
Did they just figure that out or something? Like what a 5150 is? Because I
I
keep
think
hearing that.
they're
Like ever since I came back, it's like I keep hearing that. But back before, nobody was ever saying that. So it must be something new they learned, and now they just. It's like when a kid learns a new word, and now they just can't stop saying it.
right. I
That's
think
what I
that
get from it.
NC
What a
says
5150
that
is
one day.
that if you go off your mental deep end to the point where, like with me, I'm constantly getting welfare checks every day or at least every week. And if they think that you are a serious enough of a mental threat, they can actually take you and have you institutionalized and take you away from your family.
Mm-mm.
It depends on the state for one, and it's actually very hard to get one. Because remember that Eugenia Cooney girl that she was talking about on her Twitch stream one day.
Mm-hmm.
She had a 5150, and it was other creators that she was friendly with that helped push that to make that happen, because they
Wow.
were concerned for her, and they had to trick her into like going to this place because she refused it because like her family didn't
Right.
want her to get treatment because that she was like their income, whatever. So, but the thing is that it's a difficult process. So it's not as easy as they're trying to make it appear. And I think they're aware of this, or they're just utterly stupid.
Right. But again, with
I
me
think it's
having
the
a
latter.
mental health condition, they want to push me and push me and push me to the point where they won't be satisfied until I'm completely ruined.
There's people like this.
Gretchen, do you know? I mean, Mandy, do you know what Gretchen? Is this true? The one
I
you're.
can't even read the comments right now.
Oh,
It says,
it's
is
Gretchen.
that anorexia girl?
I don't think so.
Yeah, she has an eating
It
disorder,
is.
and she would never discuss it on live streams, but everybody obviously would mention it. So like they'd send her like crazy super chat or whatever they call it over there
Oh,
on Twitch, bits,
okay.
whatever. I don't
Yeah,
fucking know.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard about that girl,
And
and
I used to watch her live. I used to watch her, back in 2017 and comment in those chats. and she fucking blocked me before because there was a guy in there with the fuck named Mark, and he had like some weird fetish for like women like that, and he had this website and stuff, and he would also pretend to be different people, but when he was on his main account, he was causing a lot of problems. Like he was calling people in the chat fat, so that's why a lot of creators made videos saying that she enables eating disorders and it's problematic, even though she, like, her herself isn't saying it, but her audience is, and that's what's influencing it, and that is why it's an issue, and she does not address it. So she blocked me because of that, and the reason being that I said that he was causing problems and that she was calling people fat. Like, he shouldn't be doing that. It was crazy. Like, I used to mainly just observe instead of comment because it was bizarre. But because I said that, she blocked me, and he used to pay her a lot of money. And like a lot of people who used to actively watch or know of that guy, like, he was crazy, and it was sick because he would make her, like, you know, she was just harming herself.
Wow. Yeah, I only know about her because someone mentioned it one day, and I was like, what are they talking about? And I saw a picture of her, but that's all I saw was a picture of her. I don't know anything about her. But I was talking to Squirrel earlier, Mandy C, and about what we were talking about the yesterday, and no, I didn't make a call. I texted. I thought I made a call because I get confused about texting somebody and calling somebody. I never called. I texted that person.
Yeah, I know. But there's still probably, because you said you got to make sure, but that's because of what you
Yes,
have, right? And I was
but
gonna say, because that recording, which I'm still gonna send you when I get the chance to, but that recording, I have like a lot of emails, and I try to respond to people, but that recording didn't sound really, like, at first I was like, oh, yeah, that's him, and then like I really listened into it, and you could tell that it just
yeah, it's not me because I have a very distinctive because of my accident. How I speak, it's not in my control, and I find it really hard that someone would be able to, because you don't know when I'm gonna just stop. You know what I mean? And I was so bothered by that, and I was talking this morning to this girl. I was like, I didn't even put my fans or using a fan till this month, and we're only. She goes, it wasn't you. You never called her. You tried to call her, but then you ended up texting her, and she cussed you out in text. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay. She goes, because you say that, you mix it up all the time. You say, like, I called Ed, and you didn't call Ed, you texted Ed. You're just saying you contacted the person, but you always say called. So
whatever.
I just wanted to clear that up because plus she never takes a call at all. So
Well, the yeah, and in the clip it sounds threatening. It
yeah,
sounds threatening.
that's not
So she
for
was trying to frame you for something.
which is
And you got to
really
look out for people like this. You have to.
that's really weird to me, because she tells everybody, she pushes them around and cusses and says, come on over here if you want. And here she is portraying that I'm threatening her. Isn't that kind of bizarre?
I know, that's why I'm laughing, because it's so fucking bizarre. It's like I can't help but laugh at it because I sit there and I was like,
Is this the same person
talk
that
about projection.
is this the same person that I'm taking legal action against?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, she got a call the other day from some nut, and I kind of found it funny that he basically told her in the voicemail that he says that she's just so jealous because Mandy and Jessica and Mrs. Portland have
What?
a natural beauty. Yeah, some guy called Natasha the other day.
When
Said,
was Mrs.
Natasha,
Portland?
you're so jealous because Mandy, Mrs. P, and Jessica have a natural beauty. Why don't you just leave those women alone?
Oh, that's good. That's golden.
Oh man.
That really is.
I
When
like
And
was that? Yesterday?
she's trying to figure out who this guy is, and he keeps calling from somewhere in the Dominican Republic or something.
Yeah.
And he calls and texts her all the time. And he actually left her a voicemail the other day about how
I
jealous she is over all of
cannot.
us.
That is so funny.
She gets really mad about that.
Yeah, listen, been asking. So when was this? Yesterday? Because I want to get a clip of that. 'Cause that's
Yesterday,
hilarious.
I think it was
yesterday,
the day before.
and no, she did it yesterday, the day before, and last week.
Oh, maybe it's in one of the ones I have.
Yeah, she gets really pissed off about that.
Oh.
No,
post.
I think that she has people. Actually, there have been people that have done that, left like stupid ass messages, and then she could read it on a live stream and make it content. Like,
Yeah.
say this bizarre, stupid thing.
She's from some other country or whatever, and
Yeah, okay. Sure, Jen. Whatever you say.
right.
What
Who
I
the
also
hell's
found
in-
funny too is yesterday. Now I found this funny. I was listening to another creator and his wife or girlfriend or something, and somebody in the chat made a comment about me saying, "Well, I wonder what NC would think if Mrs. Portland was the new Messiah. She needs to change her name and call herself the new Messiah, and then see how NC reacts."
Is that why you changed your name to that?
Yep,
I-
because somebody in their chat made that comment saying Mrs. P needs to change her name and call herself the new Messiah.
I did not address that. You know that,
No,
right?
it wasn't you. It was another creator and his girlfriend.
No, I know I didn't address it because I was talking
It was
to you.
somebody else that was in their chat when they did their live yesterday morning. They go on early in the morning. They go on about 9 a.m. their time, which is 6 a.m. my time. And I wake up out of bed and I sit in my bed and listen. And I happen to been watching the chat.
So
And
when I
some
talked to you yesterday on live, you wasn't called that. You were Miss Portland, right?
Right.
Okay, and then when you got off, had supper, when did you change your name?
I changed it last night.
What, after supper or?
Yes, after supper. Because again, I wanted time to think about it. Because like I said, there was somebody in this creator's chat that thought it was funny, and she says, Mrs. P needs to change her name and call herself the new Messiah of YouTube, and then see how everyone reacts. And I thought, well,
And did you come back on my live after you changed your name?
no, that was before I did it.
Okay, because I saw your name like that, and I was like, I really don't remember her name being that way when I was talking to her. And I was
like I said, I needed some time to think about it. And I thought after this person had mentioned it in their chat, I thought, that might be kind of a neat idea. So I went ahead and did it after dinner because, like I said, after listening to that live stream yesterday morning, I wanted some time to think about it. It's like, okay, do I do this or do I not do this?
Well, honestly, Miss Portland, when Squirrel Girl came and told me about what you titled yourself, the very first thing I said was, is she that called that when I was talking to her? And she said, I don't think so. And I was like, because the first thing that comes to my mind is David Koresh.
What's that?
He's a guy that called himself that, and he had a
David Koresh was down in Waco, Texas. That's where that.
The combine place, the FBI drove tanks into it and killed everybody.
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's Waco, Texas shootout with
Oh,
tank.
never mind. I have heard of that. I didn't know. Okay.
Because he called him. Did he call himself the Messiah? Yeah, he did.
Oh, I don't know the details, so I just know.
Well,
Well,
just
like I said,
just whenever I saw it, I as the first thing that popped in my mind was David Crash. I was like, what?
well, again, on my main channel, I'll keep my name as Mrs. Portland, but on my second backup channel, I'm calling myself the new Messiah of YouTube.
Oh, please don't.
Just,
Please don't.
I just did it. I just did it for kicks.
You're not doing it no more, right?
Well, I haven't gone back in and changed it yet, but I don't know if I will or not. I may change it back, but I don't know.
I hope you change it. I'm not gonna.
Decisions.
I'm not gonna say why. I'm gonna leave that up to you, but I really strongly cement. Hope you change it.
Why? I think it's cute.
Damn you, Mandy.
I was
No,
gonna
I'm just
ask
joking.
Mandy what you thought.
What?
I was gonna ask Mandy what she thought.
I
Okay,
think that
ask Mandy.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny.
Thank you.
And just leave it. I'll just leave it. Fuck it.
I don't want to answer now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna step down this year
I got
again.
this right here. I got this here, right here, Gretchen. Mandy.
What happened?
Nothing.
I missed it.
Yeah,
That's
you did.
What
It's
happened?
okay, Miss Portland.
Oh, sorry. I
You
was
do.
looking at the screen. My bad.
See, she don't pay attention to me. That's why,
No, I
I
am.
love
I'm
her.
also doing something.
I know you are. I'm just joshing like I always do. No,
I
Miss
know.
Portland, it's your stuff. You do what you want to do, what's best for you. And when you go on your trip, forget about all this YouTube stuff.
Oh, I plan.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
gonna
worry
just
about
enjoy my time away. I'm gonna go enjoy my time with my son. I'm
hugs
gonna
and
watch his high
kisses.
school
Yeah,
graduation. I'm
get
so proud
all
of my little guy that he's graduating.
get
So
a lot of
I'm just
pictures.
glad that we're gonna be a part of that. So
Get a lot of pictures, hugs,
oh, we
kisses,
will. We will.
and make sure you come back and get it all on the disc. Sorry, and so you can show us me, not
I
us,
will.
me.
I will. I
Um,
will.
I'm sad
Okay,
you're
I'm gonna
leaving
step.
though now. Yeah, I know you're gonna step down, but I'm still sad you're leaving. Y'all
I
have a
know. I
safe
know.
trip. Y'all have a
I
good trip.
will.
Y'all have
Thank
a
you.
safe trip. Take your book with you, so if anything happens, you can just read a few minutes and move on. And
Right. I will do
if
that.
you need anything, let me know.
I will. And again, thank you so much again for the beautiful flowers. They are just so pretty. I really have enjoyed having something so nice to look at and smell. And
You're more than welcome.
so, all right. Have a good day, everyone. Mandy, you take care, sweetie. And
You and
I
your
will sit
husband have a
down
good
and let
time.
you keep.
Take care. Enjoy the evening, Miss
I
Portland.
will, sweetie. You too. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Gretchen, see you next time. We're gonna have all the fun we can have. Mandy's switching on me though. I don't know.
Oh, stop it. You were just here to spy on Miss Portland and listen to what she had to say. Now you gotta go. Okay.
I didn't say I'm going anywhere.
Just being blunt. I don't believe it.
I was
Take
like,
care though, Gretchen.
I ain't going nowhere. I was telling that girl like, oh, you're saying that about her? Oh, you're so funny. I was wondering that. Just so you know. Hi, Red Door Woman. I know. Don't mess up nothing at work now. Is that so funny, Mandy? I was wondering that the whole time, but I wasn't sure. Because
Yeah.
she kept talking, so I couldn't tell. I could definitely tell on the Cheryl thing with her ghetto self.
Huh?
When Cheryl Lutz came in here, I could tell she was against Miss P, but I couldn't figure out this Gretchen girl. Was she just in here or just against Miss P? She's a better hider than the other one. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
know.
saying?
I wasn't really, I couldn't see comments unless you post them to the screen.
Yeah, I know.
But I
I
saw
always
them in the
take
chat before, but I don't know. It's just a vibe.
a vibe.
Yeah, that's just a vibe. I don't know what to call it.
A vibe. That's what you call it.
Well, yeah.
Um,
What am I supposed to call it? I wasn't
a
looking at the
vibe.
yeah. I wasn't looking at the chat. I only could see the comments that you posted, but I missed the other one. So that's why I
Now,
kept saying, "What's that?"
now Miss Portland says Gretchen is probably reporting back to NC now
Yep.
in the chat. I hope I had my hair done right so she could like. What'd you have for lunch? Let's give her
Um.
good content now. We need to know your lunch P by P.
No, it was just I had a sandwich. Nothing special.
What?
Spicy. But
A spicy sandwich. Okay, now I gotta
yeah.
know what it was. There's not many things that are spicy that goes on a sandwich.
Mm.
I can't think of anything.
I like jalapenos.
Spicy chicken.
Said I like jalapenos.
I know, but all I thought of was spicy chicken.
I don't eat chicken.
I know. I'm gonna keep saying that, and you keep repeating it. So
Oh, I
what do you
forgot to
cook?
laugh. Sorry, I'm being sorry.
You're
I'm in
being
a mood.
funny. You're all right. I know what you're doing, but I'm kind of bringing it on myself because I know you're a vegetarian, and 2 times I made comments about chicken. I forget, but not that. Sometimes I do. I better not say that. I tell them myself. I forget
Huh?
more often. So I'm talking to myself again.
I don't even understand what you're going on about.
I know. I said I know you don't eat meat. I brought up chicken twice, and I did it on purpose. I remember you're a vegetarian.
I know it does. It just doesn't give me. It just doesn't do nothing for me. If anything, because you know how many times people say things like that. It's like It's like, oh, forgive me for not laughing. Like I forgot it was some type of a joke, but I
Well,
wasn't trying to be
I
rude.
know because I'm a vegetarian too, so I understand. Do
No,
you
I'm
like?
not vegetarian.
You just don't eat meat.
No, negative. I don't eat animal products. That's vegan. That's plant-based. Back in the day, they used to call people like that vegetarian, but now vegetarian means that you eat dairy products
Oh no, I'm
and
plant
you just
based.
don't eat you don't eat meat, but vegan means you withstain from all animal products.
I am plant based.
You're plant-based,
Yes, I
so you
said
don't have
vegan.
any dairy, meat,
No,
nothing in your.
no cheese, no meat, no milk, no creamer, nothing. If it comes out the
Well,
ground,
that would
I'll
all
eat
qualify
it.
as dairy.
Huh?
I said, well, the milk and the dairy. You said the
No,
milk,
I
no
don't.
dairy.
I don't. If it doesn't come out the ground, it don't go in my mouth. So I eat plant based food. You know, lettuce, weird food.
Yeah, but people have a misconception now. They think that if you're vegan, you eat like a rabbit.
Yeah, but I didn't
Um,
mean that I asked if you're a vegetarian, but I said I'm a vegetarian, but I meant I'm plant based, not a vegetarian. Because I don't eat cheese, I don't eat dairy products. All I literally eat is stuff out of the ground.
oh no, I understood that.
Oh, okay. I thought I misspoke. I was just checking.
Yeah, no, I understood. I was just saying that a lot of people who are unaware of it, and it wasn't directed at you. It's a generalized statement. Um, but I've noticed that people think that when you say that you're plant-based, like you're eating like a rabbit, like just lettuce and like what I would call a raw vegan, like just all completely natural type thing. Well, I wouldn't last long on it if that was the case. Like, I'm just saying.
I eat a lot of salads though. I love
I
salad,
do like salads, but I wouldn't be
but
able
I
to
don't.
maintain for years by just eating that.
I eat a lot of salads, but I make a big salad, I guess. Not a big in size, but like a lot of different ingredients in it, and not just lettuce and a
Well, I
tomato.
make a lot of stuff. I made like this buffalo wrap yesterday. It's just with tofu
Yeah, I was gonna
and
ask you, do you eat tofu? I don't eat tofu. I just can't.
oh, I love it. You have to have the right. You have to do it right. If you don't know what you, yeah,
Yeah, I tried it once and I'm like, no.
yeah. There's
Um,
really bad. There's some that's bad because I've tried and I love tofu and I was like, yuck. It was gross. So it really does depend. You have to know what you're doing.
well, I better find somebody that knows what they're doing because I bought it. People told me, oh, you just eat it. So we're at the grocery store and there was, I don't even really go, we don't go to the grocery store anymore now because of all this stuff. I tend to try to use the local farmers and go to the farmers market. And we also have a farmer guy who set up his shop over here on my side of town. So instead of going to the farmers market now, I tend to go just to him because it's like a block away. But I know him pretty good, so he knows what I'm gonna get before I get there. As soon as I pull in, he's like knows what I'm gonna get. And so I've changed in going to the store to buy stuff, and I tend to like to go to the farmers market and support the farmers. But I always ask a lot of questions when I first started going there, if they're pesticide free or what they use and stuff like that, because what's the point if you're gonna leave
Some of
one
them
thing?
are honest with you.
Yeah, I think the ones are pretty honest with me. They're pretty laid back. They're not well, they have, holy jeans on and they're dirty. So they're not you know, you can tell they're the ones that
They're not
steal
some
their land.
frauds. Like they're the
Yeah, you can
real
tell.
deal over there.
Yeah, the boots are dirty, their hands are calloused over. I mean, you can tell. But then when you go to the farmers, the one
That's a
close
lot
to
of
my
work.
house, yeah, the one that's close to my house is that way. But when you go downtown, you can tell the difference in them. Some of them are like all, clean cut, good haircut. The women there have long nails, and I'm in my head.
Oh, that's just the people that are, yeah, that's just the
Yeah.
people. Those aren't the people that are actually doing. Those are people that they hire for like
Right.
the
I can't
appearance
I'm
type
like, I
thing.
can't even see y'all working. I'm just like, really? When's the last
Yeah.
time you took corn? You know, uh, I
If they
just
do
I
that to lure people in
but it
sometimes
but it
where you
makes
work
me
and
go
stuff,
away.
they do
It's
that.
it doesn't lure me in at all. So I tend to stick to the ones that look ate up, I guess. Because I believe that's them and I believe that they're the person that's in charge of it. The one down the street from me, like I said, he's just one guy, one truck, one big trailer, and he is the farmer himself. If you doubt it, he'll show you the deed to his truck and his driver's license. That's so funny because I've seen him do that so many times. And he's African American too, so some people are like, "What? You're a
What do you
farmer?"
mean?
Huh?
Why would that be surprising to people?
Um,
That's weird as hell.
where in this state, it's not surprising that people would say that. Certain people.
Um,
And it's sad. Um, in this state that people would say it. It's I don't stand by and let people say it. I have something.
I
I'll
know,
be
but have you ever announced what state you're in publicly or no?
no.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Um, I can.
No, you don't. No, don't do it. No, it's better off anyways.
It has a lot of farmers here, but it's also urban. So you know what I'm saying? You go 20 miles in every direction and you can be in rural of the state
You could
easy.
be like suburbs and then like the inner
No,
city parts.
I'm in the capital of a state. I'm in the capital city
So
of
you're in the city part.
yes. And
That's
and I can go 30 minutes in any direction and be in the rural sections of the state till I get to the next town. So it's really eclectic. And
yeah. I
I
like
don't
living
like
in
it.
both. I like living in both. I like living in like like you have I feel like there's more privacy when you're not in like a city area and
Yeah, on the
I
outskirts.
enjoy that, but I don't know, it's just like a different atmosphere. What I do like also better is that you go for like when I used to live in the city, oh my God, it was so annoying when you try to go for a walk, like there wasn't many places. And, in the nice weather, I like to naturally get exercise and enjoy the fresh air. I don't want to be using machines.
Hmm.
So, like, people just like catcalling and saying bizarre shit and they don't leave you alone. That used to annoy me a lot because then it would make me feel very like uncomfortable. And I mean, some people would even ask, like, if I needed a ride. I'm like, I'm just going for a walk. As if I'm
Wow.
going to be like, and one of them, I swear to God, not even kidding you, that I was doing something. There was some issue with my phone as usual. This was a while back, but I was doing something on my phone because it wasn't working. I was doing something with it. Anyways, I was looking down and I was walking on the sidewalk and I hear somebody yelling and he stops his car in the middle of the street and he just stopped his car in the middle, like, there's traffic, all that. And he was like, "Will you marry me?" And I was ignoring him and I kept doing what I was doing on the phone. He's like, "Will you marry me?" And I looked up like, what? Like, what the hell do you want?
What kind
And
of
then
car was it
cars
in?
started beeping at him to get out of like, just move it. It was weird.
What kind of car was he in?
It was a truck, but as if it was a nice one though. As if I would just be like, "Oh yeah, let's drive off into the
Let me
sunset
jump
together."
in. Yeah, let me jump in and let's go find the justice of the peace right now. I was
Yeah, I don't know
just
you from a hole in the wall, but oh, this sounds like a really good idea.
well,
Like
that's
that
why I
shit
asked
that used to annoy
for.
me so bad when I live in the city.
I hate when that happens. When I'm walking down, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what that feels like for you, but I'm sorry that that happens to you because of my gender that we act that way. But I'm really sorry that does because we just have no class. Some especially in the city, I have seen construction guys do that a lot. It's like, dude, you're married, your ring says that, you have a wife. Yeah, but I got a couple of girlfriends too, and I'm trying to get another one. Stop, you know. But I'm sorry for my gender class that cat calls you when you're just trying to have some time to yourself and exercise or just enjoy the day. It shouldn't be that way, period. I mean, what's wrong with just where do you think those men would come to your aid if anything happened to you?
One of them actually did. It was oh my God, this is a crazy story, I swear. There was this guy, every time I would take the train, I would see this guy and he would like, I don't know, I just remember, and then I didn't see him again for a while. So he just popped up out of nowhere and he like tapped me on my back and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even remember him. And he was like, "Do you remember me?" He was like, "I know you." I was like, "No, you don't." He was like, "Yes, I know you." And I'm like, "No, we do not know each other." I said, "I would remember a face, like, meaning if I knew you personally, I would remember you." And it was weird because he would do this every single time. And I forgot to mention that's what he would do when I first started seeing him around.
Mhm.
Is he started doing that from the very beginning. So I wasn't sure if this was some type of a pickup line or whatever, but it was creepy. And then one time I had to go to the courthouse, and it had to do with a small claims matter that I had with somebody else, this agreement that I had written down. It was, God, it was just a mess. But anyway, so thankfully I was able to get my money back. But so I went to the courthouse, and when I was leaving, I saw him standing there. I'm like, Jesus, of course this person would be there. And I'm like, can you please leave me alone? I'm not in the mood. He's like, why are you being mean? I'm like, I don't know you. And so he was like, he followed me to my freaking place. Not even kidding you. One of my old apartments, he followed me to. And I
Wow.
was sick that day, and he brought me like cold, like Tylenol and all this stuff and left it at my door.
Wait, that's a good guy.
Well, he was cool. That was a nice gesture, but it was creepy.
He just didn't have a good approach. Good manners, bad approach.
I'm like, what in the
Hate to say
world?
it, but this is because fathers fail. They don't teach their sons, the right way. And they, and don't teach their daughters the right way either, That's
Well, it
why
creeped me out because he didn't follow like the first. That means that he followed me before to know where I lived.
but yeah, that's not a good idea.
I had
As
no
far
idea
as
that this
as far
person.
as like him stalking you basically, that's not a good idea. But I'm talking about giving you the cold medicine and stuff like that. He just probably didn't see himself as stalking you. Maybe he was nervous, like a shy kind of person, and didn't
No,
know.
that's a red flag. Those are the types of people that if you break up with them or anything goes bad,
Oh Lord,
they will like go ballistic and be like creepy, like high level stalker freak. Next
take the
level. I mean,
knees out. Take the knees and ankles out first. Then you don't get in trouble as much, but you still injure
no, I'd rather not.
them.
But I swear I've never that's the most crazy I've that was where I had the most craziest shit happen to me was when I lived out in the city.
In the city. But then again, out in the country, there's no one to come to your aid except for 30 minutes or whatever. Well, but never mind. I was about to say, but then again,
Oh wait,
that
hold
might
on
be.
1 minute.
I think that Gretchen girl and that other girl were NC people. So I just think, we've lost a lot in society about men acting like men, and it's more men acting like men that we lost, the touch of that where men walk women to the door so that they don't have other men walking up on people like she just described, and opening the door for women like the car door, and just being a gentleman, doing the rules, the things we're taught. But there aren't enough dads teaching it. It's a roller coaster downhill. There aren't enough dads who continued the lessons onto their sons, and those sons are grown and they didn't get those lessons. So it's, run downhill that they haven't gotten taught what the original one did was. And Red Door Woman says, I live in the woods and I feel much safer than when I lived in the metro area. Well, it is kind of safer now. And you hear people talking all about it now, that when something, if the things come true with all this government stuff, and if the WHO steps in and all these, just crazy things that they're saying is going to happen to our country, I hear a lot of people saying they've built cabins or they've built things out in the woods and they don't want to be a part of the city anymore just because of the threat. It hasn't even happened yet, but they're going more to a rural not just a rural, RUAL, not just a rural area. They are making themselves all very self sufficient, and not relying on things. So they have a backup plan, and that backup plan is to be self sufficient off the land, to stop using electricity, and people are already preparing that by doing those things.
Oh,
So,
that's kind of fun. The
but
last time that happened, when did the electricity? I can't even remember. But
I
whenever that hurricane was, that I was living in a different state at the time, though. But
which one?
it was the Hurricane Sandy, that one, and then
Hmm.
my power went out for I think maybe a couple weeks. But I
Hmm.
didn't mind it. It felt like I was living in the olden days. It was actually great because my sleeping cycle was
Yeah,
like back to normal because I would wake up when it'd be light out, do what I had to do, and then at the end of the day, go to sleep once it was dark.
yeah. I mean,
That's the
that's a
natural way, right?
yes. That's like what Red Door
I
Woman
like
said. She like living in the woods and felt safer than in the metro. And I was saying that people, are kind of, because of all this COVID stuff, and saying that the World Health Organization is trying to take over everything, that some people have already started to adapt their life back to a society. They've set up camps and stuff like that. So if it does turn into that society, they've already set it up for them to live off the land, uh, where they don't need electricity. They don't need, basic necessities that are now. They've already found a way. They've already devised a way to live without it. And you can live without it. I mean, you just have to know how to do certain things. Know how to make a fire. It's not that hard, really.
Well, I'll try to avoid those days as long as possible. Like I enjoy and I appreciate nature, but I really don't want to be living out in nature.
Well, even if you're not living out in nature, because if they go through all of this stuff that they're talking about, you'll be in your apartment. But how are you going to cook if they turn all the powers off, to get control of the people? You did see what they did to the people in China, right? When they locked them
Oh,
all in their apartments.
yeah,
Did,
yeah, in their
now,
apartments and
what
stuff
in
during
the
lockdown.
What are we going to do if they do that to Americans?
I don't. I, I don't. I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be locked in our places.
That's what I'm saying. What are we going to do? I know what we say we're going to do, but
We're going
there's,
to starve to death.
I think they want to if it goes to that.
Oh, I finally got it. Okay, I figured it out. I'm so sorry. I was trying to put my ADD is bad. I was trying to put this thing together, but I got it fixed. It's been long enough. Yeah, so what were you saying?
I'm
What are
saying
you
that,
gonna do?
what am I going to do? I've
Yeah.
already, started my garden. So I'm pretty sure that my neighbors in the area are either going to become friendly or foe, and I'm thinking more foe, because they already got problems around with the other people that they live near. So thereby means I'm going to have my weapons out, and that's not what I want. So it's going to turn into chaos. But I've already started with a long time now ago with my plants, and I got 5-gallon buckets with plants in my own little, and I live in the city, so I don't have good tiller ground to work with, you know.
You should. Do you have a bunker?
um there's no way I can get underground with the type of ground that I have. It is so hard and compacted with gravel, because the ground, we had to bring gravel and hard rock into this place just to level the ground, right? Because I live in the same place of my work property, and I live on the second floor, but I have plenty of land to hide, to build and hide and survive on, is what I mean. But I don't have a bunker, and I have a plan, but I don't have a bunker.
I know. You want to know why I asked that? Because there's been so many people have done this kind of thing for years, and I can understand why with different events that took place back in the day. But I mean, like, there are people who have whole like entire YouTube channels who have somehow merged into this community, or well, whatever the community, the circle of people that we're familiar with, and I was I don't know. I was just surprised by it. I'm like, are these people, and they are speaking at it, they are dead ass. They're like, you need to learn how to do this. This. It's like, yeah, that's great advice, but these are people who've had that for years, thinking that was going to happen.
Yeah, but
Like, going
I
as far back as like 2010.
yeah, but sadly enough, I kind of probably am like that, but without the bunker. I hate
At
to
least you
say,
don't have that.
um, I mean, I'd have a bunker if I could, just because I don't trust them. Red Door Woman said, I'm a Native American, so I like living a simpler life. My garden is planted, and in a few months I will be canning. I know y'all don't eat meat, but I will be going moose hunting this fall. Well, good luck to you
Oh
because
wow.
these are huge. Um,
Do you do you
I
know what
do
that reminds
canning.
me? I want to get back into archery. That was fun. The hunting, when she said mentioned
A
hunting, it
hunt.
reminded me.
I have bows, I have knives, I have what I need. Because if you think about it, you're not going to get guns and ammo and all. That's what they're aiming for to take away now, so that you don't have it. So I have alternative weapons as well, um, to protect myself and my property. I'll build an above ground bunker, if I have to. But as far as like, I'm definitely into canning. I'm definitely in the survivalist type mind. I'm definitely into growing my own food. So I guess I am those weird people like you, but I had to become that way, for
No,
my.
you're different. You're different. A lot of military are taught stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that's
we're
normal to
taught
me.
how to survive. But like canning and stuff, I didn't know how to do it. And I taught myself that because Squirrel thought it was crazy at first. She's like, is something happening that I don't know about? I said, man, I don't have time for this. I don't trust this. And this is way different than any other times before, only because the World Health Organization is involved, you know, and they're too busy trying to give these shots that are just not okay. And all these people that are taking these shots and they think they're doing something good, and then they pressure other people. I don't trust those people. I mean, monkeypox shot. Do you even like really know what that is?
Oh, I heard some ignorant ass person on somebody else's panel saying that comes from they said, oh, it comes from people like homosexuals, and he said that's all it comes from, but his choice of wording was like different, and then it
Well,
was more rude. And then he
it's not.
said
It's not homosexual. It's having sex with a monkey.
yeah, that was the whole point of what I'm saying, is because that was like what he was implying.
I mean, I looked it
Um,
up because I was like, "What the fuck? We didn't even have no wild monkeys flying
isn't
around
that
here
how
like
lice
in
came about
Africa."
anyways from humans?
Yes,
Like that. Okay, so
and
that's blame. These people should be mad at the weirdos who do this type of thing.
well, if you remember correctly in the news, we should know right when this started because they started talking about that truck that turned over and all the monkeys got loose. Step one. And then people forgot about it because they're like, what do I care about some monkeys you lost in the woods, right? Months go by, months go by, months go by. It's been almost a year, I think. And now we're talking about monkeypox and how we have to be tested and have to get a shot for monkeypox. And people forgot about the truth that the monkey.
Oh, speaking of monkeys, you want to know something really random but cute? I just thought of this video I was watching on YouTube. It was of this gorilla and some guy that I guess raised it when it was a baby
Mhm.
up until it was like a teenager gorilla. And then
Yeah.
it was released into the wilds. And so he went back to visit like the area that that gorilla's in, and he made some type of a noise that only that gorilla would know. So the gorilla like walked up to like the waterfront, like where the boat was, and he was taking it. Like that's definitely risky because they didn't know how it would respond because sometimes they don't remember you and they can act, you know, that thing could freaking kill you.
Right.
But it instantly like it was looking at him, and then like they did this thing with their face that I guess gorillas do with each other when they're like showing affection or whatever, and he remembered him, and then he had the human like introduced the human to like the other gorillas that he became a part of their little group. I was like,
Wow.
and then like when he left, when he had to go, when the human had to go, he was going off in the boat, and the gorilla literally waited there until like the boat just went all the way off. It was the most cutest freaking thing. I almost died.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I like stories like that where people actually connect in nature. But I just the monkey story, they fell over, people forgot about it. Now we're coming now about 8 months, 9 months away from that truck crash of the monkeys. Now we have monkeypox is here. And at first everybody starts panicking, and the news is doing all this telling how we're gonna be forced to get it just like the COVID shot. And then someone looks it up and says, what the it's a it's a shot about monkeys having sex. And then people now already are like, I'm not
No,
getting that shot.
this is everything wrong with the West. This is why I can understand.
How other people make fun of us.
Yes, I literally like, and I'm all for us. Like, I am full support. I'm just
100.
saying that, like, there's things that a lot of those other I'm like, you are ridiculous. But there are things I'm like, wow, we really do sound very stupid. It
Yeah,
pisses me off. So when I would like, after I stopped, like, I stopped going there in there as much. Like, I would just listen to a bunch of Americans. I'm like, whoa, like the topics and stuff that they would discuss and the things that
yeah.
they would focus on. I'm like, this is stupidity at its finest.
Yes. It really is just like materialistic and just fantasy ignorance. That's what I call it. Monkeypox is fantasy ignorance. Some people think the people in charge of this are so smart. Like Squirrel says all the time, what does Bill Gates got to do with this other than he's a quadrillionaire? That's all he's got to do with it because he's a computer guy. He is not a medicine maker. But he's all the way up in this stuff. That's not his genre. Jeez, oh Pete.
Profession. Yeah.
Oh, most of
It's like
these
one
crazy
weird vaccine after the next. I used to question that a lot because it's like, okay, so now all of a sudden I understand that viruses mutate and all that, but just the timing of it was very odd. And I remember the earlier, and I'm gonna be very careful with the word, but I'm just saying that I remember the early media footage of in the city area when I was living in the city was absolutely nothing as to what it was really like.
right.
And I had to go, yeah, and I went to the hospital. So I went to the hospital one time before the pandemic, like before they started acknowledging it here, which I think I actually might have had COVID. I'm not sure 100%, but I'm just saying because they thought that I had the flu and I had to go to the hospital because I was having a difficult time. Like I was just having trouble breathing. And then after that, I went to the hospital for an allergic reaction during the pandemic. And I'm talking about the emergency room. They didn't even have sections to like separate people. And
Yeah.
this was at Jamaica. Yeah, this was like in the actual city and stuff, but the news was making it seem very like people. You would think people are dropping like flies, and people on Facebook, like people that I know from like in the city area, we would all be like, "Do you guys know anyone that has COVID?"
Yep.
Because everyone's like, nope, don't know
Did you
anyone.
did
And
you
then all
ever
of a sudden,
find
that's when everyone started testing positive, but had no, or quote unquote positive, but had absolutely no symptoms.
exactly? Did you ever find one person that knew one person? I
Yeah,
never
I did.
did. I never
Well,
did.
I did. A lot of them. A lot.
I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying. So,
because when it
no,
comes down to it now, they're finally saying it's just a really bad flu.
yeah, but people don't get it. Like we were the hot spot of the pandemic, New York. That's where it all was
Yeah.
at. That's where the media and stuff was all covering. So I'm trying to say, like, as somebody that lived there, that witnessed it, that lived it, it was not like the media was saying. And then there'd be people like online from like out of the country, like in the UK, just sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. I'm not trying to be rude towards the UK or nothing, but they have a tendency of doing that. And I'm just like, you don't even live here. Like, I'm
Right.
not trying to be nasty, but you don't even live here. How are you going to tell me what it's like where I'm living? Anyways, but when I would tell people that, like, I mean, we would be talking to each other on not even people just that I knew. You would see it all around, like, because you have like mutual friends, like, and nobody knew anyone. But then all of a sudden, people would get positive. Like when the testing came out, people would test positive but had no symptoms. For an example, somebody in my family tested positive and but like children didn't get it, and they have like this autoimmune issue as to where the doctor said that if they were to get it that it would be deadly, like it could
Right.
be serious, and they had absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, nothing.
Wow. See, but there so many people died, but not because of that, right?
The thing is that Americans would, okay, people from out of states would say in the beginning of the pandemic that I was ignorant for saying those things. But now a lot of Americans are like, yeah, I believe that there's some type of political agenda behind it. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people were saying that people that were speaking up about this in New York were full of it. And what I found the most interesting is when I went to the hospital for that allergic reaction, they told me that they had to take my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why is that? Because I've been to that hospital before. They said it's for privacy concerns and I'll get it when I'm discharged.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was interesting because I'm like, wait, I could have my cell phone before. So they said, nope, you have to have it. And they put it in a little baggy plastic bag thing until I was discharged.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading about and seeing online how like people would take clips of like the hospital to show that it's not like what it's like in different hospitals and medical, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, maybe that's the reason. I'm like, wait a second. So if this is a privacy concern now, why wasn't it a privacy concern before?
Right.
I am
I
so
could
dead
see
ass. Like
that
that
at the
happened.
oh, I believe you because there's no way when they tried that stuff like that at the VA, that's the wrong place. The veterans, I think, they're all over the TV saying like the same thing at the public hospitals, right? The VA is different because the veterans, not the doctors, they were trying to do the same things to us. We go to go to the door, go to the hospital. I need your phone. Well, yeah, when hell freezes over, and you'd hear veterans say that to them, and they'd be
I
like,
honestly
"No,
think because even like back in history and stuff, this is just my own theory, that back in history, usually when communism was introduced, it wouldn't just be introduced all at once. Like you have to work your way into it because if not, usually people will rebel, especially in a place like the United States. So, and I don't mean actual communism. I mean, I think that the U.S. and that would explain why, like, when when Biden and Bernie Sanders
yeah,
and Bernie Sanders he believed in socialism.
yes,
So, yeah. And then he didn't win. And then we have to think about, remember how the election and stuff, which has actually been questioned before, that if the Russians rigged the election in the past as well. And now, but that I remember hearing about that before everything going on with the Ukraine and Russia. But it came to mind when all that started happening. Anyways, what I'm saying here is that like Canada socialist. So I think that, and most other countries are for it and want the US to become that. So by doing that, you have to have like
certain
take away
things
like the
done.
mask thing. It started becoming the norm. The little things that you introduce that aren't normal, as time goes on, become normal, and people don't even think twice about it. And then they go into the next stage, and then the next stage. The next thing you know, you're like in full-blown communism.
Exactly. And this is why it's not going to be that easy to do here. And the reason for that is because of the amount of people that own guns. That's why it's not going to be easy, because the average American citizen and that the manner of guns of that is probably 3 million alone. They're not going to give them up. As other places have already, they don't have control of guns like America, but you have your own independent army of veterans, in fact.
But they knew it would be easier to do if a Democrat was in office. Like it's easy to have that type of like just to persuade them and stuff compared to Trump. So I feel like because that other one didn't win, that I feel like there is like with the election and stuff, and then it just like they would be more for it, even though like it, because when I remember at the beginning Trump wouldn't he acknowledged it, but he wasn't doing the lockdown when the people wanted him to do lockdown, because he was in a way trying to say that it wasn't that serious as the media was portraying it, but he couldn't just blatantly say it like that. So once he finally did have a lockdown, people were like, oh, it's his fault. It's like, okay, so he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. What the hell is your problem?
Exactly.
And then you want to blame him for the economy? Are you serious?
Right? You're on a...
How about you look at the statistics before all that happened, like the time frame of it, and then let's go back to fucking Barack Obama. I'm just, never mind, that's getting into too much politics.
No,
but many people are just dense and they can't even, they don't know, they don't go off of the facts, they just go off of what they hear. Like, well, I heard this and that. Well, let's go over things and let's go through like the statistics of it, and then let's discuss.
It's not even little statistics. You can see it plain as day. This isn't a little line from Barack to Trump. Okay, it is bold what Trump did. It's huge. It's bold. You can see it, and because of that, the line of the Biden, you can see his weakness because it's so drastic. You know, I do feel like Trump tried to, he told us in a roundabout direct kind of way, and they didn't like him doing that. Not at all. You're absolutely correct. And Red Door Woman, you're right. Socialism is just soft communism. But I just don't think that they're going to be able to. All of these things that they're trying to do is to figure out which one of these games we're going to fall for. Like, okay, we fell for COVID mask thing for a long time, right? But then we woke up. And now there's something else, monkeypox. And we're like, not happening. No. American citizens are like, no, not happening. I ain't putting that damn mask on. Don't ask me to. And then they're talking about, okay, wait, they're not falling for that. So let's try this. And the elections are coming up, all that stuff's coming up. We don't make them put the mask on right now, because we need them to be in a good mood to vote for who we want them to vote for. That election was so rigged, it's not even funny. And the part that gets me is the shit was on film. You could see it. They showed film of these people doing stuff. I don't understand how that continued. I've heard a lot of people say Trump is still in charge because he handed over our government to the military. I don't know. Did he? We shall see. We shall see. But you're right, Red Door Woman. socialism is just soft communism. And we did not fight in all these wars from the creation of this country up until current for socialism or communism. We fought for freedom for every single person in this country. And that's just a bill to stand on. Even if you're military, I mean, the military people will not stand for this either. If you talk about taking away their freedoms, and then you got your whole individual civilian army in this country that is never going to stand for it either. And that's the thing that everybody's afraid of. Not only do you have a strong ass Army, Navy, Marine, and Air Force, you also have a strong, massive civilian military. That's what we called it. That's what they are. So, and those numbers can't even be told
Sorry, I
yet.
had to find my charger. I was looking all around the place. I'm like, where the hell did I put my charger? Am I like going through the early stages of dementia? Because I
No, not
swear
yet.
it was in my pocket the whole time.
Okay, maybe. I'm just joking. Yeah, I said no, and then you say it was in my pocket. Okay, maybe.
I swear to
It's like
God.
it's like looking for your looking for your glasses while they're on.
Well, no, because I was doing my makeup before, and I usually don't put on my outfit before I leave. Like when I'm doing, like, I don't put on my nice outfit I'm gonna have on. Um, so I just have like right now I just have like these sweatpants on, and um, so I have them like they're not even my own sweatpants. Like they're like for men, so they're very baggy. So I couldn't even feel them at first.
Mm-mm,
But yeah, it was in my. I mean, it was in my pocket.
that's too funny. I so was
Kind of like
about to
when somebody
say
has their glasses and it's on their head. They're on there.
that's funny. I've done
So
that. I
I missed
can't
what
see
you
it.
were
I have my
saying. So I'm
glasses.
sorry.
Oh no, I was just talking about, that our country has the strongest military, but then we have a second military of civilians and veterans. It's no other country in the world has that like we do. So it's not going to be as easy as they think to fool us all like they did to China and lock them up like that. That ain't going to happen here.
Yeah,
There's
well, a
no,
lot of it came from a lot. It's actually very common. I find that interesting too, because even like the bubonic plague in the medieval times, swept in through Asia into Europe, and it actually almost killed the entire European population. Um, but anyways, I was just gonna say that a lot of like diseases and stuff come from that area. That's not anything. That's not a racial thing. That's actually like it. So it makes me wonder as to why. I don't know. Maybe because it's very populated. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really looked
I
into
think
it.
I think they are trying to murder people slowly through the food. I mean, we have products.
That's a given.
I saw
It's not even like they're like, oh, let's kill people. It's more like it has to do with money. It's business.
yes, yes, but it's further than that though. I mean, I saw a video last night, somebody holding a magnet on the Ziploc bag of baby food, and they had magnets all in it, lead. And this was Gerber baby food. It wasn't even the cheap stuff, it was the expensive stuff. And I don't know what kind of person you are that you have a company and you put lead
They do
shavings
that with
in.
dog food as well. You
Yeah,
ever notice how a lot of ever notice how a lot of baby products and animal foods get recalled, have recalls
exactly.
on them?
But people still use them. But what kind of person are you put lead shavings in Gerber baby food? I mean, Mandy, at
Clearly,
what
an
point?
evil person.
Huh?
Clearly, somebody who's just sick in the head. Why would you? That's why I said that. That's why I mentioned that, because it's very common with like baby food, animal food.
Well,
So it does make you wonder.
I think they're trying different ways to take us out.
Yeah, that's
They
what I'm
just haven't
saying.
found a way. They just haven't found a way to kill us quicker. That's all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think that there's certain things that are like preying upon like innocent like babies, animals.
Yeah, but now that they're messing with the vegetables,
Oh, they've been
uh,
doing that. The food industry has been doing that.
so what is there besides? What is your solution besides
If I had
growing
a
your
solution, I'd be
own?
rich.
Well, okay,
It's true. I wish I knew
your
the
answer.
answer to it.
No, I mean for you, what is going to be your answer to vegetables? Are you going to go more to the farmers and organic, or is there a system you use in the stores? Your personal like way of doing that too, or do you just do the best you can with what you see?
Well, where I live, it would be hard to have a garden. Like you can make things like grow things from like your windowsill, like on the windowsill this time of year.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, where I live, yeah, you're on a landlord's property, so you can't just make have
can
a garden.
can you use the 5 gallon buckets and the artificial light? They sell that on eBay for indoor gardens.
Yeah, I can do that if I wanted to. I just stick with the stuff in the stores for now.
Yeah.
Um, call it lazy, but I just don't feel like doing all the gardening stuff.
Yeah, it's hard, honestly, uh, to garden in your house with the artificial lighting. It's real good lighting and 5 gallon buckets. That's harder than working the land. It is. Because, most people, when they started doing that in the winter time. Well, when you do that in the winter time and you're doing it inside your house, you're the one controlling the temperature. So you actually can grow things that you couldn't normally grow outside because it's cold. But it's still very, very difficult.
Yeah,
Red
that's
War Woman. My husband is a vet. I work for DoD, U.S. Army Europe. I spent 10 years in the East West German border during the Cold War and this year. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you
Thank
for
you for
your.
your service. I meant to tell you that before when Miss Portland was talking. I wanted to say that I have a lot of
Oh,
respect.
I, I don't, I really don't know what to say when people say that to me
You
on
know
like
what guys that I've dated that were in there, they go,
you're
some of them
welcome.
would say, thank you for your support.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's
Yeah.
what I need to say because most of the time no one says it to me, except at the VA. Because I've had some terrible experiences really when that sentence comes along. I've coming home from Afghanistan. I was on a plane. I got off an army plane to a civilian plane, and I got off the plane in an airport, and a person said to me, "Thank you for your service." And I thought they were being serious, right? And I said, and I was fixing to say something. I was like putting my lips together to say something. And then that SOB spit in my face.
What?
Yes, he spit in my face. He said,
This
"Thank
was
you
in a
for the."
public setting?
Yes, a international airport. He said, "Thank you for your service." And I was like, "Oh no,
Um, wait. So what was this problem? Like, what happened? What's the context of it?
he's against war. He's against
What?
war. He's against war." We were in
Oh,
Desert Storm, Afghanistan. We were all up in there, and they're just
oh,
people like that.
okay, that makes sense. I thought, okay,
They're
that's why I
they're
asked for like a little bit of a backstory thing. So I'd be like, that makes
yeah.
sense now.
I was coming home from my first tour, so I had been over there for 2 years, and finally got to come home for like 3 days, and then I got sent right back because I have a specialty skill. You know what I'm saying? And so I
There's
was so
actually
happy.
a lot of Americans that are imprisoned over there. And imprisoned
Yes,
over there.
yes. But
Yeah.
he said, "Thank you for your service," and I was like, "Oh, phew." And I'm gonna be honest, there. You know what you do? You wipe your face off with your rag that you have in your pocket, and then you say, "Have a nice day." You do not react whatsoever. You can't.
Oh, hell no.
I can't. You know why?
That's-
We're taught that how we react in a uniform is we are a reflection on the entire U.S. Army. If I react, I'm reacting, and it displays a reflection on the entire service, no matter what branch you're in. So we're never allowed to react to a civilian because of that. They could have took a bag of dog shit and threw it on my uniform, and I'm not allowed to react because of that.
Yeah, I think I've heard that from them as well, like when you're in the uniform. And also, that you brought that up with people doing that type of thing. This guy that I dated for quite some time, he was in the Marines, he was in infantry, and he did 4 tours in Afghanistan. It was 2 or 4 tours. I'm almost positive it was 4. It was a lot. And then he became a pilot. And he said to me, I remember, like, if I would like talk about something that upset me or I was just venting, like
Mhm.
he could not sometimes understand that. And he would be like, anybody can act up or raise their voice. He's like, but it takes a stronger person to know how to keep their composure.
Yes.
And he was like, it doesn't mean anything when you act like that. And that was also around the time when I was bit in my nose by this pit bull. So I had this huge mark on my nose at the time. And I was concerned and at the time I was raw vegan. So thank God, I think that's why it healed so well because of
Right.
all of that vitamin C. Yeah. And anyways, but I was like, my nose, like, this is my face. Hello. Like, any woman would be like, this is traumatizing. Like, why couldn't this have happened on any other part of my body? So
Right.
he was like, Amanda, he was like, he's like, I know people who've lost their limbs. He's like, and
Mm.
you're complaining about a scratch on your nose, but it was a bite. It was huge. And I couldn't get stitches on it because it was opened for
Right. Where it
too many
was.
hours or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was just very void of emotion. And I think obviously it had to do with his training over there. And we'd also have to sit, like if we'd go out to eat, we'd have to sit in like certain spot, like he would have to face a certain way.
Yeah, I was fixing to say that. He has to face the door. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just
I was like,
described
never
it.
again.
You knew me so well. We're all that way. If we've done lots of tours. So I believe you're right that he was there for 4 tours. And when I say tours, people think I mean, oh, like a couple of months. No, we're talking years here. You might go over there for four times, but they're a year and a half, 2 years. Next thing you know, you've been in Afghanistan total, if you add them up, for 10 years. It's something. But yes, we do things like you just described me to almost a T. People think I'm cold hearted and dead. Is that what they say, mate? Maybe.
Well,
That's
they break you down
pretty accurate.
psychologically. They break you down psychologically, physically, to pretty
To
much
do
become like
a robot,
the yeah,
dead man
and
walking.
be able to kill. And
You got to be dead man walking in order
so
to
it can be
do
hard to
certain
adapt and back into society. It's like, how do you do all of that and then be able to come back into society as a civilian and just act like all that traumatic shit you've witnessed didn't happen? I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
haven't
why
figured
they have trouble.
it out yet. We really haven't figured that out yet. I think I've said that to my therapist one time. How do you expect me to talk to you and just be like, well, I come down the hill and this, and this, right? And then I came back and there was a 4th of July party and I just ate burgers and fries and had a good old time. And it doesn't work like that, you know. And they can't really understand you sometimes because they have civilian people working there because I guess they don't have enough soldiers like retired to work there, so they hire civilian ones, and they're not really helpful because they haven't been to war. So how they gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? If you haven't
Yeah, it's
been,
unfortunate he was like that. I was like, oh, he would have been perfect if he didn't have that just void to him.
well, when we get used up that much, you know what they do with us, right? They
I know I'm
put
not
us.
referring to my last. I'm referring to my
They,
last ex. I'm referring to somebody else,
no, I'm saying you know when we get like
and I
that,
just want to say that.
they wait till we're so injured that they put us out to pasture. That's how we feel most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they
and I
use
just,
us up. They teach us to be just like you described him and me. I mean, Squirrel can tell you that I'm about as emotional as a rock. um, I've tried to improve on my humor. Uh, and not sometimes I don't do very well with it. I'm just off with my humor, but I'm trying. But I don't smile. Um, I'm just pretty dead serious all the time. And she tries, and the therapist and all them try, but that's just the way we are. They took innocent kids from 17 and 18, turned us into machines, and when they used us up for everything they could get from us out of our bodies, mostly, not our minds, but our bodies, where they couldn't function the same way, they put us out to pasture. And now our pasture is the VA hospital. If you ever get near a VA hospital, they have benches all around outside. Just sit down and like
never been around one.
you should go. Well, like if you ever are near one, just sit outside and watch the people. Just sit there and watch the ages of the men and the boys and their injuries, and you're going to be shocked because you're going to be like, damn,
I feel like a
this ain't-
creep.
huh?
I feel like a creep. That's just me,
No,
though.
no. What you'll see is you'll see almost everybody has the same injury and they're all about the same age. You know, you see this guy 30, 40 years old and be like, damn, he looks like an old man. Ask him, how old are you? I'm 35. You look like you're 72. You
That's
know
because
what
they've been through a lot of stuff.
yeah. I
It'll
mean,
age you.
yeah. And then the military, then you try to go get, help at the VA for your injuries that are permanent forever. And they say, can you tell us when this happened? And you're like, bitch, don't play with me. You can see it right there in my file.
And don't you hate it sometimes? Yeah, it's like when they say how would they ask you how did it happen? Yeah, it's like just help the issue, please. Is that what you're saying when they ask you how something happened?
No, they want you to prove it.
Oh,
Yeah. For instance, let's go with anthrax. They bombed our own soldiers with anthrax during Vietnam, right? They also did that to our soldiers in Desert Storm, right? And I was in a class one time at the VA hospital after I got injured, right? And the nurses that were up there teaching this class, it was a diabetic class. And I hated being in there. I never was diabetic before, and I just couldn't understand why I was there. and they were explaining that diabetes could sit dormant in your body if you'd been, around these particular chemicals. It could sit dormant in your body and never show up until a catastrophic event made it come alive. Like it just made it jump up out your
Oh, I
body.
never knew that. That's
I
interesting.
didn't either. And there was a man across from me on the table, and he was in the Vietnam War. He said, "Wait, are you telling me that when I had my heart attack, because I'm not diabetic, I wasn't diabetic. I just had a heart attack, and I've been in the hospital for months waiting to be cleared from here. And you're telling me that because I had a heart attack, that I'm diabetic now?" And the lady was like, "Yes, when you had your heart attack, your diabetes was sitting dormant in your body. He wasn't overweight. He had good blood pressures, all these things that um the diabetes was sitting dormant in his body. And when he had a heart attack, it made it come to the surface." And I was like, wait, I asked the next question. I was like, wait, hold on. Are you saying that this disease can just sit in you, that I would never know that I had it, but that because of some
Yeah.
injury shocked my body so much, it floated like a bubble to the top? And the lady said, "That's exactly right." And I was like, "This is some bullshit." I was pissed because I didn't want to believe it either, and he
I
didn't
think that's
either.
true.
He didn't want to believe it, and I didn't want to believe it. Yet we both could see it on the meters right in front of us that they were showing us. But he knew his catastrophic event, and I knew mine, plain as day.
I'm gonna look
And
into that now because
and what
I
made
had
it,
no idea chemicals could cause that.
well, it's anthrax, you know. And this whole time, I was like saying, I was like, "Why do y'all what do they call it when they block out your record? Um, re- retract, I don't know how
When
to
they
say it.
what? Try to explain it.
When they black out things so you can't see it. It's a special
When?
uh no, like when you're blacking out information in a file. I can't remember that word of redact. Thank you, squirrel.
Oh, redacted.
Yeah, they do that
Okay.
in DA records sometimes so the vet can't see stuff. So it was after, okay, I learned that about that. And so I kept looking up meds. Squirrel would look up meds, and I was like, what? I heard the lady say it, but you see how they're covering their ass here. They're covering their ass. They will not write it down because once they write it down, I can get disability for that particular incident, right?
Well, they're not supposed to do that.
Well, they're not supposed to do a lot of things. They will not write anything clear that we can get benefits for. They will write it in weird ways and then make you jump through hoops.
That's like how it
to-
is even in society. Yeah, they don't like to explain. They don't want to explain anything to you. The government, just
Exactly.
in general, they don't want to be giving out things like that. You know, they don't want to
No,
give out free hand. Yeah, they want you, like, if you need that or you whatever, you have to find it yourself. You have to do all the
yes,
research.
but the
Because
thing
I've
of it,
heard that from other people with.
yes, they act like they're giving me something for free. It's not free. I mean, I've had a therapist say that once says, you're having a lot of time putting this together, even though all the information's there. They're kind of using your injury since it's in your brain to like make you go on more of a hunt, so you won't get it all put together. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. Of course, she said, "Do you know that's the only cuss word I ever hear you say?" I was like, "Don't worry, I'll get a new one." Uh, but it wasn't until I think it was just recently. So this has been 4 years now. 4 years, I can't find nothing that in my medical whatever that would do it. So I had
In your medical record or in your charts?
I can find every place that I went and everything that I was hit with, but they won't write that one word. Just that one word, anthrax. They won't write it. They'll write every word around it, the definition with it and all, but not that one word. There's a reason for it. Okay, but then they messed up. Finally, somebody made a mistake. It's called a good doctor doing her job the right way. It was for my kidney. I had something wrong with my kidney, and she wanted to run a test.
She ran a test in the med that she gave you.
Yes, she ran a test and she gave me a med, told me to take it for 3 days, and then go do a test, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Guess,
listening.
guess what the med said on the bottle?
What?
No, I googled it.
No, oh yeah, what was it?
It said it helps with the kidney or whatever, and then it also is known to treat anthrax.
Known to treat anthrax.
So there you go.
That's right. She
I'm
gave.
like, well, hey, why isn't this in my medical charts? If this is what I'm prescribed, this should be mentioned.
I kept that bottle. You know, normally you take them in and you turn them into the VA, the empty bottles. They have a thing you're supposed to turn them in. See how they have a cycle?
Yeah, I believe you 100%. I've heard this type of an issue
They
with
want the pill bottles and everything, so you don't have no evidence. But I have.
sick. Yeah. And people will say, oh, this is, that's a conspiracy. No, it's not, because I've heard that from other people when it comes to like the government and what they do. You better believe. Now, I know that, and the thing is that a lot of these bizarre these bizarre people will make up some crazy, really, like there's a lot of bizarre stuff that the government's doing, but I'm just saying, like, they entertain like every little thing so much as to where like the real issues that are crazy that attention should be brought to don't, due to people like this.
That's exactly right. And you know who the test dummies are for all this shots and everything, right? Like when the COVID shots first came out, the test dummies were not the civilians first. It was the military, because we don't have a say. We signed a contract.
Because the government, you're pretty much government property.
I am government property. That's what GI stands for.
Yeah. Yep, I've heard yeah.
I'm GI property until the day I die. Government issued. They can do
That is
anything.
what people agreed to when they signed, when
I signed my contract to go into the military, they own me till the day I die. Even if I'm not active military in war, they still own me till the day I die. And they protect me too till the day I die.
Yeah, that's why a lot of them will have each other's backs because of that. Like the old, like people that were to help them, help the ones that are struggling, because they know how hard they can make it.
Yes. So we're all each other's ranger buddy. When one of them makes it through all of the stuff and finally gets, the benefits, then they start helping other people who are having a hard time, because what happens for one doesn't necessarily go for the other one. They make it extremely difficult.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad that that's how people who've protected our country. I'm not talking about the ones who've had desk jobs. They try to. There's a lot of people who will try to like throw themselves or flaunt themselves around and be like, oh, I'm military, or I'm in this branch or whatever. But they're not even. And I'm not trying to like talk down on them or nothing. It may seem like this, but I don't know how to say it nicely. But it's just like, I feel like it's disrespectful in a way when they do that, because people think, oh, that person must have went overseas or whatever. But really, it's the people that have been in infantry, like they're the ones that have been fighting for the country, and that is how the government treats them. So all the things that you do in your daily life that you take for granted over here, that most certainly in other countries would not be allowed, you would be lucky to even be alive. And some, like, for example, North Korea and stuff, like,
Ooh,
I'm saying they have to they have to have a radio on 24 hours a day, and I guess the electricity goes out at certain times.
yes.
And but if they turn it off, they will be in prison. Like, if they find out, you'll be incarcerated, killed. When that guy, whatever his that guy, that the dictator, I can never remember his name, whatever.
Kim
When his
Jong.
family member passed away, they had to mourn for like 100 days, and there
Yeah,
was government officials watching them, and that is why they looked so dramatic when they were crying, because they had to, because their lives are on the line. If you didn't look like you were crying enough, sad enough, your whole family could be killed. And you're not supposed to wear jeans. It's affiliated with the West. So if you get
they,
caught even wearing them like in your home and somebody tells on you, you're dead. So a lot, and travel is banned there. So like there's a woman that I watched, she's called like the voice of North Korea, and she escaped North Korea. And usually when they escape, they have like, they carry like a switch or like a blade on them,
mhm,
because if they get caught, they usually
they'll
will
cut
kill
their own throat.
themselves, compared,
Yep,
because they don't want to be caught, because they'll go through a lot of like torture and all that, and they rather just die by their own hands.
that is correct.
So I'm just saying, like, the little things that like people over here take for granted, and there's people fighting for our country, and then they get treated with that disrespect.
Yeah, because they don't even know what it's really like. How it is on TV ain't the real thing. When I was in South Korea, the Tucson and the Casus soldiers would come on the buses, like they have, like, you see in those kind of countries, they have buses running all over town and they are packed. But their MPs and stuff would, and it's not an MP like military patrol. These are in the city. These are their cops. They have M16s. They come on the bus and they start looking at everybody. And I don't know how they know, but they can tell that there's a North Korean done snuck on that bus, because I've been on there before and it was right behind me.
And the
And
only places that, oh, sorry,
and
go ahead.
the guy pulled that gun, his M16 quick, and he was yelling, get up in Korean, get up in Korean. And that was a North Korean sitting right behind me. I can't tell the difference unless their clothes or their facial features are different. But if you're on a bus in South Korea, I'm not looking for a North Korea in town. There's
Yeah,
just billions of people there. But I learned real quick, you better learn. So you learn the
eventually you can
language.
start.
Yeah,
Eventually
yeah.
you can start, and also by their dialect, like how their accent.
Well, yeah, but they also mimic a lot well too, because you got to think their family. That's the worst part. The ones stuck in North Korea, and they have relatives on the south side, and all they want to do is just go see the relatives. If you when they die of natural causes, if they were born before the line became north and south, they have to go. They take the casket to the border and they hand them over to the North Koreans if they were born in the north.
Yeah,
They don't.
that's
Yeah, they don't go to the funeral. They can't. They won't allow them to. They'll take the body from them in the casket and do it.
that's horrible. Yeah, that I didn't know that part. That's wow.
Oh, they're
Wow.
very
I'm not
serious.
surprised. Yeah, they are very serious. And the dictator over there, like if any Americans, you're only allowed in certain areas. You're not actually allowed in like where areas where they live. And none of nobody is except for them. So it's scary that there's a place like this that exists. So like the Russians dominate bases, like military bases, like the land. The US dominates air bases.
Hmm.
So the US has been monitoring them for quite some time, but you can't just go in there. But they're trying to have that take that dictator down. But by doing so is we have to like work our way into it and influence our politics in there slowly. And it has worked in the past when it comes to dictators. And that dictator over there is getting very paranoid because he knows his time is coming. And like with any of them, there's a rise and there's a fall. And we've seen this throughout history with them. So like because he killed people recently, like there was a girl, she was
He
like one
killed
of the
his
most
own
beautiful
brother.
actresses, and she was murdered. There was a kid killed by a firing squad just because he read the Bible.
He
So
killed his own brother.
yeah, that guy's a sociopath, and it's a breeding ground for
Kim Jong Un.
sociopaths.
Kim Jong is definitely, but you know what? Something very valuable. Trump has a relationship with him. Kim Jong Un has a relationship with Trump
Yeah,
that
it can't be
nobody
that.
else has. So it would have
That's
been
why they
better.
say That's why they say influence politics, because there's no way that that guy actually likes Trump like that. I mean, for God's sake, he killed his own brother. He doesn't like that's just the way how his mind works. But I really do sympathize with a lot of the people there because just because their dictator's awful, people will label all of the people as that, but they don't have a choice because their life is on the line.
They have more bullets than we have soldiers.
Well, they have more bombs. They're also highly obsessed with nuclear weapons and stuff, and
Yes, they
they're
are.
always threatening people as well
Yes.
with them.
And they fire them off and come real damn close to our country. That's why I don't understand Biden's bullshit. He's too weak to me. And I don't care who's listening to me either.
Republican senators tried to warn the ones who've worked alongside Trump tried to warn Biden when it came to the nuclear. What was
But
it?
I
The
don't think
nuclear.
he's in charge anyway.
Okay, well, anyways, the nuclear
Just
deal. It's
said that.
important. It's important though because, like I said, China has strengthened Iran through their military equipment, all of that. They're allies,
Yeah.
and they've said in their media that the more that the U.S. dislikes them, the stronger that their bond is getting. And they have like military that's trained, like they have a part of their military and they're cyber hackers, and they've threatened to make cyber attacks on our systems and stuff, and they've already started doing that.
Oh, I
Now,
believe that.
people need to look into it. Yeah, it's important. People are very ignorant to this.
I don't like this whole Ukraine thing. We have no business being over there.
No, but the Ukraine thing plays into everything that I've been saying about the whole thing with Iran, the US, China, and that is what the clip that I was playing for you last night of this guy named, he went by Jack on this thing, but I don't think that was his real name. But anyways, he's from Iran, lives there, and I think he lives, I can't remember what it is, but anyways, that place is currently going through a major drought. But he was saying that this is all related and that our media tries to cover certain things because they don't want to step on certain toes, and that we have traitors within our media, and those traitors, a lot of them are the Democrats, and they're the ones who control our media and what's like let out to the public. So there are, like, when it comes to the war and stuff, we're only told like they're so hyper focused on the Ukraine and Russia. Yes, that's important, but it intertwines, it correlates with all of it. There's a bigger picture here that it all has to do with all of that, which were already problems before that Americans were unaware of due to the fact that our media does not mention it or bring it up much. I've only heard it a couple times, and
Yeah,
there has
because
been
it's
discussions.
trying to distract us from looking that way.
Yes, and it's in the U.S. and that's why they think that we're ignorant to it, and they're loving it. They're loving it. They even cuss the freaking president, like talk about him, calling him a mother cunt in Farsi and all that, saying like they wanted to air missile strikes on us. And they've stated publicly in Iran, it was in Tehran, Iran, they said that Americans need to watch their backs. They're not even safe in their homes, and we want them to know this. And
Mhm.
when the borders opened and all that, like they are, and a lot of them have connections to the West. So
I
meaning,
know they send their kids here to go to college.
yeah, but I mean connections to the West as to where they can
No,
have
I know
inside
what you're
attacks.
saying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. I mean, that's the thing. The civilians, they're definitely distracting the civilians. I'll say that much, but they're not distracting the vets. We know that that's meant to be a distraction because we're used to that kind of tactic. You know what I'm saying? And we've been over there before. So I'm not talking all the military. I'm saying ones like special forces, infantry, people who have been over there that have dealt with that specifically and are trained for, watching out snipers and that kind of stuff, because we've been there before.
The
We
reason
know,
why the U.S. got
we know
involved
that
in,
stuff goes on.
I would say the reason why the U.S. got involved with Ukraine and China is because of how we are looking due to events that took place right before Trump's term was over. And so the Middle East has come privy in recent years to what the US and Western nations, and it all starts with the UK actually, because we are an extension of the UK, and the UK got America on board to join them into causing chaos and destruction in the Middle East. Reason why is to like oppress them of certain things like their military equipment because they would be a threat to us, and we want to gain control over the Middle East for their resources that they
We
have,
just we
and
just
which,
gave them so much billions of dollars of military equipment.
yes, you want to know why
Uh,
that is? We don't know what that is because even in history, this has happened before, where, like I said, the UK convinced the US to trick Iran into thinking that we were in their corner. And what they did was they got their Shah back into power, which Shah means king over there.
mhm,
And they got their Shah back into power because they knew that he was very influenced by the West, so much to
mhm.
the point where he westernized Iran, where it got the people upset, and it worked in our favor instead. So they supplied them with weapons and stuff like that before, so they fight each other. Now, when it comes to what we did in Afghanistan, is that a lot of them went over to, like, they ran out, they were in Pakistan, which is really close to there. And when we left, they all came back. The Taliban came back, and we left our weapons behind on purpose. And that is why some Republicans were celebrating it, because that we know that they're going to use those weapons against their own people. Therefore, we don't have to do anything. They're going to be self-destructing in there, because what's common in the Middle East, their main thing with each other is to fight about religion. That's what their thing is. And as long as they're distracted and there is chaos, it protects us.
Hold on one second, please, Mandy.
That's a fact.
Hold on. Random moments with Kelly.
Oh, I
We
don't,
are
that, I
talking.
don't,
We are talking about the military and intelligent conversation like that. Your comment is irrelevant to the intelligent conversation that's going on.
I didn't even see that.
If
I
you
can't even
can't,
see the comp.
well, I
That person's a
can.
troll.
Yeah, I know she's a troll. She's in there trying to start shit about you, and
I don't
we're
care.
talking about military stuff. Go on, Mandy, what you're talking about.
But yeah, anyways, back to what's important. So, like I
Maybe
was
she'll
saying,
learn
was that
something.
this has been a problem, and Americans are too fucking stupid. And sorry, I'm clapping, but it's irritating how stupid a lot of people are, because it's a threat to us. And all they have to do is look through history. Like, this has been something going on for for years, and they know this. And the fact, like, for example, if we go back to the early 2000s, they've done like simulations as to what it would be like if the US was to go at war with certain like parts of the Middle East,
Oh, they
and
do that.
we had
Yeah,
we had the upper hand. But nowadays both sides would have a lot to lose, because they're becoming like, what were you gonna say? I heard you.
no, I was saying they do that all the time, and people don't even know that they do the simulation things over and over. Like you were just talking about, they do it with each other over and over. That's why they have war games. Did you
Yeah,
know
but
that?
anyways, but they did that because of how far, like each time, like they have to do it every certain amount of years because things change throughout that time. So then we could look at different ways as to how we could approach the situation. So it's best to be like, for example, I don't know how to say it, but be like civil with a certain side. Like that is the only reason they're even still breathing over there, is because the Western nations could have taken them out a long time ago, but we don't because of the resources that they have. And we would also have a lot to lose over here. So it would not be a wise decision. And they also have allies that are in their corner. So, I mean, all of these countries could pretty much destroy the entire world if it came to something crazy like that. So you kind
Exactly.
of have to keep the neutral.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it. So the part that I don't like is I don't like that the American people aren't aware. You know, um, all this stuff is happening, and I don't like that the government that's in control right now thinks that it's okay to keep the American citizens stupid. Like you're gonna starve them out, and then you think they're stupid. I'm more worried about our country more ever than before from our own people than I am the other people. Does that make sense?
I'm more worried for our own people because we're the ones living here. I'm worried
Yeah,
for people over there,
that's
that
what I'm
over there.
saying.
But
Huh?
that's it's horrible with a lot of stuff that's going on over in different countries. But I'm more concerned what's happening over here because we can't just lay down like sheep, and that's what a lot of Americans act like. And this is no hate. Like I'm full. Like I want people to wise up, and I'm not somebody that's like this. Like, and this is the first time I've actually been concerned when it comes to what is currently happening in the world. And there
Yes,
have been
that's
a lot of times where people have been like this, and I'm like, nah, I don't think any. I don't. I think that you're just being a little bit too much, which was right because nothing ever happened. But what's happening now, I've been following closely, and I think that it's a cause of concern and a big issue. Like I stated yesterday, when it comes to our media and social media, like in social media, with how people use the internet, like Twitter, YouTube, for sources of information when it comes to what's happening in the world, and they don't always know what's a credible source. Now, mind you, our media has not always been, they're not transparent completely. Obviously, it's like with anything, there's always a narrative that wants to be pushed. So there's certain things that aren't mentioned that, like, that's just life. Okay. But like when it comes to like people online, like people that have like a big influence, sometimes people will be like, oh, this must be a credible source. Like, you know, they very influential, like they seem, and they act like they have a lot of like inside scoop on something, and they don't. And they're doing it for financial gain, for clicks, but it's misinformation that they're passing on to the public that gets spread around. And I think that's why a lot of these conspiracy theories, like these crazy, bizarre things, have been hyper focused on in recent years. And it's a problem because when there is something that should be a cause of concern, people don't see it, and they just go like, they just brush it off as, oh, that must be another conspiracy theory.
exactly. That's going to be a big problem. But the stuff you need to know, they brush it off as like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're right. I mean, I've had a lot of things heard before or said before, and I'm like, no, no, I'm not worried about that. But this is different. It feels different. It smells different. The other countries are reacting differently. So yeah, this is different.
Yeah, and there's people like, I lost my train of thought. I hate when it happens, but oh, yeah, I forgot. It'll come back to me. Had to do with the stuff in the media, but yeah,
Well,
that's a
it's just the media can only control people that are not the people that don't think like me and you and like all the other vets and civilians who think like you. They can only affect the other people outside that circle. I
well.
don't
Oh,
want to say
I know
that
what I was gonna say. Now, before I
they
forget,
are.
before I forget, was that they know that Americans are like this, and that installed it within us for years. It's been like Americans think that they're invincible because we're a first world country, and we've been
Right.
known as the only like superpower, like all of that. But because these other countries are advancing, they just think, oh, that can't be that serious. We've got this. We've gotten this for years. But that's the thing, is that it has, and they know that, they play on that, and they're like, good. Don't think anything's going to happen to you, because it's like, we're going to catch you slipping type of thing. Like, you're not going to be prepared, which is what Iran was implying in the statements that they made publicly.
And I think one of the things that happens here is like when they have trying to say it without getting a strike for it. When they have backpack things, you know what I'm talking about? When
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
okay, like at the marathon, when they had that backpack incident, those are instances where they're saying something to the people, saying, you see, it can happen here. And these are little, they're big events to us, but they're little events to them, showing the vulnerability of us, you know. And when they do that, it shows just really on a small scale weakness, and they know it every time. And then the news blows it a whole different way. They're like, oh, we knew about him, or we knew about this
It depends on
person.
the incident, but the one that you're referring to, yes.
Yeah, they tried to act. Well, I'm talking about all instances like that, of that type,
Mm,
you know. They I think those are instances of warnings, not like a big warning. It's like, hey, look, stop, y'all are not safe as you think you are.
well, that's not all their motives, I think, is what you're trying to say. But yeah, the
Yeah.
other one, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, that just shows how easy it can be to catch people off guard. And
Well,
those
not
are
just, go ahead.
no, I would say those are minor compared to what they have become capable of, which is now that they have this equipment, and they're creating like they have things, I can't remember what they're called. It's like this stuff to protect them from like strikes over there,
Mm,
that China is teaching them about currently,
mm,
and planning on attacking us over here, so therefore they don't even have to come here.
right.
It's,
And not only that, they do that kind of damage with a pressure cooker. Imagine if they had real equipment.
yeah, and they are getting that now.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This country left so much, billions of dollars of equipment
On
on that.
purpose.
Yeah.
But they mainly did it for, yeah, they mainly, because when my ex was in Afghanistan and stuff, like
This is
they
not
used
the
to,
first time, though. We've left billions of dollars there, or someone's made the decision to leave billions of dollars there. This has got to be like the fifth time. And this last time, with Biden getting the people out of
oh,
there
it's been
and
going on for,
not
it's
get
actually
them
been going on
all.
longer than a century.
Huh?
And it's been going on longer than a century, and it goes back to the UK, because
Exactly.
they've had a lot of control when it comes to like things that are going, like different countries and stuff. Like the UK is the reason why Pakistan became its own country, like because it was originally a part of India, and it separated, and then they had them all pretty much go at each other's necks, which was centered around beliefs and stuff. And now a lot of like the Pakistani Muslims are going into the UK, and they've been doing this throughout the years, as to where it's like they're all over there. And that it has had like this butterfly effect, as they call it, which is this phenomena. But it's like a domino effect or a snowball effect into the present from past events.
Right.
So, and it's been interfering with the stuff over there, and they talk about it. They say that they want to make the UK an Islamic country. Now, people from the UK will be like, yeah, right, that'll never happen. But if they actually paid attention and stopped falling for this, and I'm not trying to be like
discriminating. This isn't anything down on your religion or nothing. I'm just saying when they fall for the ones that are like that, the Muslims that are like that, they're falling for this Islamophobia. First of all, phobia is a fear. So they're misusing the word and nobody's fearful of them, but they fell for that, which was just a manipulation tactic. Let them even enforce their own laws for their religion, which affects them as people. And that is how they've been slowly doing it. And it's gone under their noses, while people from over there love to constantly focus on the US. You always hear that, like, if you go into, like, I've been in so many different, like, as they call sectors online, not even just YouTube, like parts of the internet that are just completely different atmospheres. But I've had a lot of interactions with the ones from the UK, like people that didn't even know each other from over there, that they have like this similar way about them, and it's different than over here in the US. But they like to stick their nose into everybody's business when it comes to politics here. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but can't you focus on your own country? Because look what's going on with yours.
Yeah,
They
that
even
is
had
true.
protests over there saying we love how we can come here to express our freedom of speech, while what we're going on about and protesting about is how we hate your country and how we hate the West.
That is true, though. But the UK is not a little bit Muslim; it's a lot Muslim. I mean, it's massive. It really is, and it's so hard with my faith because there's so many bad. When I say bad, it's even a hard word to use, because you have somebody that's primarily good, just trying to survive like everybody else, and then when somebody bombs like their house or their country, that they write home to their mom and their grandmom, and it's all over the news, and they won't stop it in the news over here sensationalize it. It changes their whole thing. um and I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with the news sensationalize it, because you shouldn't be doing that. But I think they're doing it to create the hate more between the US and Islam as a religion, or as a whole of the population, to keep that tension there. Does that make sense? Like, they want to show they have like no mercy of or compassion when they do these things about talking about it. I'm talking about the news media. I just lost Mandy. Did I just offend somebody? What is this person want? I think she got kicked off.
I think so too.
Mandy C is cute. How old is she? I don't know. You can ask her when she gets back.
Possible troll.
Probably is. Just because we're having an intelligent conversation, everybody wants to start stupid stuff. But can you come hold down my thing real quick? Because I have to use the restroom. So if y'all don't mind talking to Nasir, I mean, not Nasir, I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go ahead. Go. I got it. I can hold down the fort. I don't know where Mandy went. I think Mandy got kicked off. She'd be kicking herself off all the time. You guys have talked about a lot today. I think I counted like food. Let's see, you did food, government, health, the school. That's at least 4. Y'all are multitaskers up here. Did Miss Portland leave as well? Let me look through this chat again. Miss Portland left, and Gretchen left, and Mandy's gone. Everybody's leaving. Oh, you've been on a long time. This says 5 hours, but I don't think that's right. I think this has been about 4. Let me see. Let me grab my phone real quick. I set it down. This has been a 3-hour conversation full of intelligence, of schools and food and health and medications, and I've lost track of subjects y'all did, actually.
A little bit. I don't
You
know.
guys can do, you and Mandy can do a little bit of everything.
We try.
I'm sad Mandy left.
But
I think she kicked herself off.
she probably was trying to kick me and kicked herself off, but that's okay.
She's probably trying to kick you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, people, but I had to use the bathroom. Been on here doing some hard work and lost track of time. Well, I don't know how old Mandy is, music lover, but next time I'm live, maybe she'll be up here and you can ask her. But yeah, I've been on here a little bit, so I think I'm gonna shut it down. I think Mandy just got bumped off, but I've been on here longer than normal. So what I'm gonna do is get off, and I'm gonna be doing the subjects I recapped in the beginning. If you forgot what I said, just listen to it again, and it's in the very beginning of the things I'm gonna recap soon. Jill, if you're out there, have a great day. Barbara, if you're out there, have a great day. If you're listening, thank you all for your patience and understanding. Red Door Woman, thank you for coming. Everybody have a great afternoon, a good evening, and stay healthy and safe.